I'm a Tea Party Republican.
No, you don't. You look like you just signed up for Obamacare.
I'm a Tea Party Republican. My kids asked me for because we had a haunted.
You need to take that off. We can't hear you when you're.
My kids asked me what this was when we dressed up for the haunted house we had at my house last night. For my kids had a little Halloween thing at my house yesterday.
Right.
And they said, "Dad, what's it supposed to be?" And I said, "I'm a Tea Party Republican."
You're the only one that finds that remotely funny, brother. The only one.
I'm the funniest man I know to myself.
Yeah. So, listen, couple of things going on next week, huh?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, St. Paul, the voice of reason.
K-Dog, the loose cannon.
I brought this in just for that bit.
It was horrible.
There you go. All right.
Horrible.
Don't eat in the microphone. Give me those. God. All right. So what's good? So how was your week, buddy? Outlaw Radio Network.
CarnageMediaSource.com.
Mm-hmm. How was your week, buddy?
It was terrible.
Was it bad?
Well,
you didn't show up to the haunted house party yesterday.
No.
Some feeble excuse about your truck or something.
I did. I had to take it to. I was actually getting ready to head to your house.
Yeah.
And my truck check engine light started coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Like not just coming on randomly or whatever, but just came on and stayed on.
Right.
So, and I've got a diesel truck, and so that's not something you really screw around with. So I took it right to my mechanic, took it to his house, and he started doing it. It's a clogged CG valve or something like that. Anyway, it's an easy fix. Found out it's not going to hurt it for me to drive it for a couple more days. It's getting fixed on Tuesday, so that's all good and better. But it took us about an hour to diagnose it. So, but once it was fixed and taken care of, that's all good there. Found out that the bank can't afford to or won't finance my house that I'm living in, and I've already put $27,000 down on. That's a joyous, wonderful thing. Then we've got what's going on with the strip over there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. My keyboard doesn't work
really
at all. It's very, very odd. So I think
you got the keyboard lock on.
Is it plugged in?
Well, yeah, the lights on the keyboard are on. So that tells me it's plugged. I'm going to reboot it right now. Thank you. And that by the way is Strip providing free technical advice. Rule number 1: if your computer doesn't work, what should you do, Strip?
Just reboot it.
Reboot it every time. All right.
Hey, breaking news. Healthcare.gov website has gone down.
It's gone down.
Yeah. Just thought I would share that. And later in the show, St. Paul is going to go through some very interesting... Well, no, that's my son's old homework page.
Good thing he didn't turn that in. He might have gotten an A in that class.
Some very interesting statistics, some very interesting pieces of information that I've dug up, courtesy of our friends on a whole lot of other websites that do a whole lot of digging up of stuff. And I think you're going to find that stuff very interesting. We're going to talk about at length what has gone on, what's happened with... the stuff with Obamacare. I'm going to ask Kevin some very serious questions because when this stuff... I'm going to go back a couple of months. When the stuff with the IRS started
happening... I have to talk my computer back on. So keep talking. I'm listening. I just have to duck under the table to turn the computer back on.
You better just be turning the table.
I'm just turning the table back on.
Yeah, that's better be all you're doing.
We'll get into the story about Adrian and Strip and how they ended up in bed together in the fourth hour.
Roger that. So here's the deal, right? So I asked Kevin several months ago, as I brought up the IRS scandal, and how it affected everybody and how it took away from the people's faith and confidence in the government, et cetera, et cetera.
Your opinion's not mine, yes.
And I had talked, you had your friend on who works for the IRS, and I don't remember his name, forgive me. Actually, I don't want to give it out again.
Leroy Jenkins.
Fine. And so I'm asking him, I'm saying, well, if you knew that the government itself, that the president, that the buck stopped at the White House. The White House knew what was going on with the targeting of conservative Tea Party groups and whatnot, et cetera, et cetera. Would that bother you? And then I finally got out for going that far. I got a belated, well, yeah, that would bother me. And so now over the last few months, we've had a lot more exceptionally scandalous things come out. Mm-hmm. It's proven that typically at this point in time, I know a lot of you are still upset with the Republicans for forcing the government shutdown, and we're going to talk about how actually many Democrats are now coming to the realization that in point of fact, the Republicans were right. and don't laugh. Don't laugh because Democrats are sitting on the floor of the House this last week saying, okay, maybe we should delay Obamacare. Maybe we should delay the implementation. And that's what the Republicans...
It is a stretch. Hold on. But it's a stretch between saying maybe we should delay Obamacare and shutting down the government was a good idea. It's a fraudulent misstatement to say that Democrats are agreeing with the statement of the government, of shutting down the government.
No, that's not what I said they were saying.
Oh, that's what you implied.
I'm saying that they were agreeing with the Republicans who shut down the government. And when they shut down the government, they said they were doing it because they wanted the president to delay the implementation of Obamacare. And not actually even the implementation. They just wanted him to delay the individual mandate. Right. Okay? So let's be very clear about the realities here. Let's not get into the Don Manning / Klaatu ideas of you're saying you don't want people to have health care. You don't let people to have health care.
Donnie's taunting you again.
That's not what anybody's saying. You see? I mean, you see the difference, right? Because that's what a lot of people. That is the conservatives like myself are consistently portrayed by leftists as fanatical, uncaring, heartless, evil individuals. Why? Because we think we should actually pay for stuff. We don't believe in putting 6 kids around a table and then taking the 3 kids who worked hard to develop something and then saying, now we're going to take half of what you built and give it to the 3 who sat on their asses. We don't believe that that's appropriate. We don't believe that that leads to a stronger country. It doesn't make us evil people. We just believe that you should reap the fruits of your benefits of your whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, again, when we go through some of this stuff,
I want to fight with you so bad.
You can't. There's nothing for you to fight about what I just said.
I totally want to fight with you so bad.
You may want to fight with me, but you are prevented from fighting with me. It's called radio karma, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's not radio
Kevin
karma.
is suffering from a karmic radio experience. I still can't type, by the way.
Here's the deal. Here's why everything you've said is completely flawed. Okay?
Tell me.
First of all, I appreciate that Republicans and conservatives, let's say conservatives, want to reap the benefits of what they've sown. They want to reap their hard work. They want to reap the benefits that come from that. They don't want to have to pay into a pool to help people that haven't been able to reach that level of success. And in the perfect world, I would totally understand that.
That is completely a lie.
Isn't that what?
What you just said is you just did exactly what I said all lefties do to conservatives. You make us out to be these heartless.
No, I'm not saying heartless. I'm just saying that conservatives want to be able to reap the benefits of their hard work.
And that you said that they don't want to pay into a pool that helps other people get health care.
No, I didn't say healthcare. Yes, I didn't say healthcare. They don't want to help put into a pool to people that haven't worked as hard. They don't want to help. They don't want to put into a pool to help people who haven't been willing to work as hard to get the same level of success that conservatives have gotten.
That is not what.
Isn't that what you just said?
No.
Oh, what? Then re-explain what you just said because I must have misunderstood.
No. You intentionally chose to phrase it that way.
Listen, I want to hear this.
Again, you sometimes.
What do conservatives want?
Sometimes, first of all, they want to be fiscally responsible. That's number one.
No, go back to the point of what we were just talking about paying into things, about paying and reaping what they reap.
They do not believe in the socialist mantra of redistribution of wealth at all. Okay?
Isn't that what I said about paying into things for other people who haven't been willing to work?
No,
to get
because guess what? Because your tax dollars always have paid for somebody who goes to the hospital and can't afford to pay their bill. Okay, so that's number one. We pointed that, and they've never complained about that. They've never complained about Medicare.
Yes, they have.
No.
Okay. All right.
They haven't.
But there's a whole big push right now for Medicare and Social Security and entitlement program reforms.
Reform, not elimination.
Okay.
Reform.
Remember, why do you need when Social Security came out in the 40s?
Reform? Stop. Why do you need reform? Why do these programs? Why do these programs have to be reformed?
Fraud is rampant. Government spending is out of control on these programs. There's no checks and balances.
Right. That doesn't need to be reformed?
No, I agree with that. I completely need to be reformed. But if you go back to the 40s when the Social Security system was introduced, wasn't the late 30s. But if you go back and research that, Republicans, fiscal conservatives were completely against Social Security.
It doesn't matter.
You just said they were never against it. They were. Maybe they're not against it now.
We're talking about today. We're not talking.
Fair enough.
What difference does what happened in the 30s make? Does it matter to you right now that the war is over?
It establishes a pattern. Listen, conservatives, I'm totally in favor of the idea of not redistributing wealth. Let me put it that way. And in the perfect world where everything is even and level, then that would be great. But we don't live in an evil level society. We have government regulations and laws that don't even tax the rich at the same rate. Mitt Romney on his capital gains, we talked about this during the election, is taxed at 13% on his capital gains, which is still a form of still a form of income. Okay, it's still income, but he's taxed at a much lower rate than he would have been if he went to work all day and earned the income. Now, some people will say, well, that's because it's income that he earned again. based off of earlier income, and he's gambling essentially in the stock market to make capital gains. My response is income is income.
No, that's inherently not.
It's not inherently not correct. You may believe it's not true, but it's not correct that income is income. Money earned is money earned.
If I go out and mow my neighbor's lawn, my neighbor gives me $10. Is that income?
Yes.
I don't think so.
It is income.
I don't think it is income.
It is income, and if you make more than $400 of that type of income in a given year, you are required to report it on your taxes. Well,
if you work for the IRS, you can piss off, because I'll tell you what right now.
I'm just telling you right now what the tax law says about that. Well, but my point is, listen. You have Mitt Romney earns, I'm going to make up a number. Let's say he earns $13,000 on stock in capital gains. Okay? He pays 13% or 7% or whatever lower number he was assessed on those on his taxes when he released his 2011 tax return. If you have a person who earns the same amount of money in W-2 wages, they pay a different percentage of taxes on their income. You have another person who works self-employment where no taxes are taken out, and they pay an even higher level of taxes on the same amount of income. None of this makes any sense. It's not an even playing field. Now, if you want to take that I'm advocating for a flat tax, maybe I am. But to argue that it's all the same, it's not. The people that are making large sum of monies, the corporations that are making large sums of monies have a whole bunch of inherent tax breaks that automatically give them an advantage over you, Paul, or over me, because we're not making that kind of money and earning income through those really limited streams.
Sure.
That's my point. I mean, if you wanted to level everything out and then say, fine, you make whatever you want, or whatever methods you want, or what you keep is yours, and you wanted to even the playing fields out, I would totally agree more with
I want you to think about it like this. Here's a conservative like myself. Here's our problem with entitlement programs and the Affordable Care Act. I want to make Don and others happy and make sure I call it the right thing.
Quickly, did you see the thing that Jimmy Kimmel did when he went out and asked people, what do you think of Obamacare? What do you think of the Affordable Care Act? It was great. He went into the streets, right, and he asked people, what do you think of Obamacare? Oh, I hate it. What do you think of the Affordable Care Act? Well, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, go YouTube that. It's hilarious, and it's all one of the same thing. Go ahead.
So anyway, now that you've completely made me lose my train, here's the point. Conservatives believe that there's a difference between socialism and entitlement programs, social welfare, and those kind of things. There's different levels, and they can't let it go past a certain level. We are how we treat the least of us. I believe that sincerely, as do most conservatives. However, there is a quintessential difference in ideology between conservatives and liberals, and I'll try to break it down in a Charles Krauthammer sense. And I heard him explain this best when he said it like this. Progressive liberals inherently believe everyone on earth is good, and that if you just can lay out the rules, everybody will follow the rules, and the world will be a much better place for it. That is a wonderful idea on the surface, but conservatives like myself unfortunately believe not the opposite, but somewhat of a different line of thinking, which is that there are a lot of good people in the world. There are also a lot of really bad people in the world, and there are a lot of bad people that will take advantage of you and will push you and keep you down. Therefore, it's important to empower people to control themselves and to control their own life. That you cannot allow people to just write rules that you have to follow so that you then become an autonomous, whatever you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Can we take a caller? I love it, man. You call him out and he's listening, and now he's going to call and jump your back, man. I cannot wait for this. As we are joined by, I'm going to call him Cloud 2 because that's what I think he prefers to go by. As Cloud 2 joins us from somewhere on the south end of the county. Cloud 2, what's going on, buddy?
Not much.
Get him! Listen, Cloud 2, get him! He called you out again. He does this every week, right? I'm going to talk about Republicans, but I'm not leveling anything at Don Mann and his ilk, but I love when you call. So take him to task. Get him.
Okay, take me to task.
Get him.
Well, I just want to. I was having kind of a dilemma. I thought maybe you guys might be able to help me out and, we'll go with the majority vote or whatever. What's more, Lane Paul's arguments or his impersonation of me?
I think definitely the impersonation. The impersonation left a lot to be desired.
I don't know. His opinions leave a lot to be desired. But
I just want to say that talk about dual standards. I remember somebody flaming on Facebook a while ago when their name was used without their permission. But mine's open season when I'm not on the show to defend myself. So I'll let that slide, because in the whole scheme of things, that's not a big deal, but it's a really lousy impersonation. But I just wanted to get to something a little more timely than the national thing that we're continuing. We're just continuing to mire down in. We got these elections coming up. The local ones,
right?
And I'm sure you guys are maybe going to touch on that, but I'm old. I'll probably cash in before you get into your final hours. But I just wanted to say a couple observations. One, I had my domicile invaded by political people on my porch here a couple days ago, and as it turned out, I guess they were working for Schlichter and trying to figure out, which way I was voting, or blah blah. And I brought up. I said, well, I don't know that either one of them's going to get 5-star rating out of me, but the fact that Jan Angel's the co-chair of the Bill Mill, known as ALEC, that I just couldn't go there and vote for her. And neither one of these guys knew what, ALEC was. So, good job for keeping that in the dark to the GOP and the Jan Angel supporters, because she flat will not talk about that. And I thought the other thing I wanted to mention was, she was like maintaining media silence there until she had a little press conference out in her driveway, I guess, to address these attack ads from the millionaire California, tree hugger, whatever he is, that's been funneling money to a pack of her opponents. And, I'm just like, hey, where's the outrage in all these other elections that have been going on since, early 2010, with all these super PACs. I mean, we've talked about it before on your show, the obscene amounts of cash that are getting funneled into these elections,
right,
anonymously.
As a direct result of Citizens United decision.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, Jan Angel's upset because, a super PAC has got ads on TV that, maybe they're inaccurate, maybe they're right on, maybe they're total fabrications, I don't know, but, I could go back and we can review any number of ads that are paid for by political action committees and find inaccuracies in them. That's the nature of the beast that we have to do away with. And until we do, we're going to get more of the same. And you can't be selective about your outrage. Mm-hmm. You're either for, I think people should either be for clean, publicly funded, and above-board donations to these elections, local, national, all of them, or they're not. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I mean, it's
sure.
Just people got to wake up and see what's going on. All of a sudden, when somebody gets their feelers hurt that they're on the receiving end of some of this crap, mm-hmm. Now they're making an issue out of it. This is what's been going on 4 years, and it's going to continue to go on until they repeal that Citizens United ruling and not equate money as being speech.
Sure. I couldn't agree more with you, Don. Absolutely, 100%.
No, yeah, I agree too. I mean, listen, the biggest flaw in our political system right now is this anonymous money and the whole idea of PACs. We, with all respect to Frank Aquila, Sarah Palin should not be relevant right now.
Right.
Okay. We're not in a presidential election. We're not in that kind of a cycle. But her PAC makes so many contributions and donations to like-minded political figures. So she's raising money under the name "I'm Sarah Palin, look at me go," and then she's taking that money and then she's funneling it to representatives that she likes. So the money that's donated isn't even supposed to go to that individual specifically. It's basically, here, Sarah, spend this how you want. I can't.
Well, that's how they get around it. You can't make these huge donations directly to a campaign. And that's the loophole that the Citizens United ruling and some of these other findings have done to the system. They've allowed these outside groups to collect the money,
right,
and then they can spend it however they want to, up to and including these attack ads that we get bombarded with during every election. It's going to get worse and worse. There's nobody that's out there that's making sure that these are true statements that are going on the air, because it's not the Consumer Protection Agency. They should maybe get to handle that kind of crap because it's polluting our minds, but. Nobody's watchdogging this stuff to keep it off the air. They're just doing it after the fact and saying, okay, fact check, that's a Pinocchio or this, that, or the other thing. It's half right or whatever. It doesn't matter. We shouldn't have to deal with this stuff.
Well,
and that's what's happening. It's getting worse and worse.
And keep this in mind. If you want a good real-world example of how it works, Bob in Belfair doesn't know anything about what's going on in Kentucky, for example, right? He just knows he really likes Sarah Palin as a person. He wishes she'd run for president again. He likes what she's doing. He donates $500 to her PAC. Her PAC then turns around and can go spend it in Kentucky if Sarah believes that the candidate down there is eschewing her values, and you're basically allowing out-of-state money to funnel wherever it goes based on how the PAC's forwarded around.
By the way, hey, Don, Kevin, I just curious. Did you guys see this? I thought you might find this humorous. Did you see Sarah Palin's response to Piers Morgan's interview request? She sent him. She sent him an autographed picture of her and a dead grizzly bear she'd shot. Said, "Sorry, Piers, I can't make it."
That's funny. Hey, by the way, a true story. By the way, I was on the ferry earlier this week. I want to say it was Thursday. It could have been Wednesday. So it was either the 7:20 or the 8:45 boat going from Bremerton to Seattle. And lo and behold, but guess who was on that boat? But Nathan Schlicker, or whatever, how you pronounce his last name, the guy that's running against Jan Angel. And I never talked to the guy, but I did overhear him talking to other people. And one of the guys that he spoke to was a guy that was sitting directly behind me. And I just want to say that I've never overheard a politician be so condescending and belittling and uninformed and give no answers. Like, I'm used to politicians not giving answers. Like, hey, Nathan, how do you feel about this? Oh, well, I'm kind of, but I really felt like the guy asked some questions about the issues with the state budget and education, and Schlicker didn't even address the question in his response. It was a minute response of nothing but talking points and hyperbole. He sounded like he had been really kind of studying up on what to say to avoid saying anything. And then right before the ferry docked, him and his little assistant hustled out of there like they were the frickin' president on their way to the limo. I mean, I'm all in favor of the left and the left wing candidates, and Jan Angel's not on my Christmas wish list, but just seeing that guy in action on the ferry this week, God, I hope Nathan doesn't get elected, because it was ugly to watch. It was ugly to listen to the guy, just a demeaning little man trying to just talk down to people on the boat. I thought it was low class and just spoke bad for what kind of person he is.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate, but like I said, neither one of them get 5 stars in my book, and sometimes you're presented with a couple of candidates that, neither one fills the ticket for you. My concern, as I said umpteen times, is the association with Alec, and that's pretty much just a deal breaker to me. But,
Don, don't you
get back and I like what we get. I was just thinking today, somebody mentioned Tom Cruise, and I said, I got sucked in to going and seeing this sci-fi movie he was in that was like one of the biggest pieces of crap and wasted a couple hours of my life that I ever spent. But I got sucked in by the TV ad. You get some critic that writes about a movie and they say, this is the most stupendous heap of steaming crap I've ever seen in my life. And they'll take the word stupendous out and put it on quotes and put it on the TV,
Right.
So
yeah.
That's how they... And that's what's happening, on a huge scale with these candidates. They're just putting together, these sound bites and these visual bites that are paid for by these PACs, and they get to say and give you endorsements of whatever they want to say about these people. It's not regulated in the slightest. It's just getting worse and worse. And what we're going to end up with is, the government that we're paying for, or that somebody else is paying for. That we don't even know if it's the Chinese or the Russians or whatever. The way this thing's going, it's just unbelievable. And I know I sound like a broken record about it, but damn, people, we got to wake up. The friggin' snooze alarm's broke. Let's cut this crap off and get some real people in there working for us to stop this insanity and return the power of government back to people.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There's a lot of things that you and I will have long, interesting debates about, but this is not one of them. The need to rein in anonymous dollars and just control this a little bit better. Just get this where it's back in the hands of people that are contributing, not corporations, not PACs, not any of that. Just get it into regular campaign donation dollars and. And
not George Soros and unions. I'll throw that in there for Paul. Any of them. I don't care. I want to see publicly funded, above board, full disclosure election financing and campaign financing. That's what we need to have.
Absolutely.
And until we get that changed, we're screwed.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more.
Well, yeah, the only question with that is then you get into questions about viable third-party candidates and how much do they get, and are you controlling the field by letting the government control who gets how much money to spend on their campaigns? And let's say you give $1 billion to the Democrat and $1 billion to the Republican, and the American Communist Party shows up and wants to run. How much do they get? And then they're going to bitch and cry that they didn't get enough because they're trying to go against the big guy, even though we know they're not a viable party.
Well, I don't say that the money. I'm not talking about the pool like in the old days. I don't even know if it's still on your return where you can throw $1 into the presidential campaign. I'm not talking about that money being evenly distributed. I'm talking about disclosed individual donations to candidates. There's a limit that myself as a individual can give to a candidate's campaign. There is no limit to what I can shovel off to a PAC, no matter who they're for. It doesn't even have to be a candidate. It can be an issue. We're getting that too. We're getting outside money coming in here fighting this initiative 522. Monsanto and they've spent millions of dollars against that, and a lot of industrial giants around the globe do the same thing through these PACs. But what I want to see is that the only money that goes into the campaign finances of the people that are running for office come from, Joe and Jill America with limits on what we can donate. In other words, a millionaire that's for a candidate and a guy that's making $20,000 a year, they're maxed out at the same amount of money. Whatever it is, $2,500, $500, $700. Pick a number, and that's all you can give to that candidate. You got to even the playing field, and we can't have this outside anonymous dough in here manufacturing these just unregulated ad campaigns because it's not doing anything for the people of America. It's doing everything for the people that are putting up this dough to try to get legislation and candidates that'll work for their legislation to make their bottom lines fatter.
Exactly. And you said Joe and Jill. I thought you were going to say Biden. All right. John, we love you, man. What?
I was going to say, Joe Biden shouldn't be able to donate any more money than me or you.
Exactly to that, man. Yeah. All right, we're up against break, but we love you. Call back anytime.
All right, brother.
All right. Take care. There goes Klaatu. So you call him out, and he is there and ready to call. I think he tunes in just waiting for you to call him out now. He did have a good point. There was a guy, I made a funny joke about this guy on my Facebook page, and he got all bent out of shape and said I shouldn't be dropping his name like that and without his permission. And it was a good point. I just think
I think you should go back and pull that up, and then I'll explain to you what I was talking about.
We don't have time to do that now. We got
that's what I thought.
No, we will. I don't remember what it was all about.
Yeah, I wasn't
even going to say it was you. I was just saying there was a guy.
Nah,
got all upset.
Well,
people shouldn't get upset with me.
Yeah, I'll get upset with you. I'll let you know when the bear shits in the woods.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah. Anyway, so
hey, have you been following? As we're on kind of a local slant at this point with Don's phone call. One quick question before Strip gets back. And Strip, we're ready for break when you are. Have you been following the 522 stuff? Do you have a thought on that either way?
I'm voting against it.
Are you? Mm-hmm. I'm voting against it just because I don't think it's necessary. And if it's true that like meat and all that stuff is omitted from it, then what's the point?
Well, and that is part of it. It's that when you go look at it, the issue of, listen, would I want to know if my food is genetically altered? Jesus, son, most food's been genetically altered since they started genetically altering food. I mean, a lot.
Well, yeah.
You know, they
do you know that carrots used to be purple? God's honest truth. Carrots used to be purple.
There are purple carrots, but that have been orange carrots for a lot longer than they've been genetically engineering.
Do you know that they were originally purple, and scientists in England in the 13 or 1400s
genetically engineered.
Genetically, essentially, they did graphene and all that to make them orange. So I mean, and again, what I'm only bringing this up to say that us messing with our food. At some level, in some way, shape, or form, has been an ongoing thing for the life of humanity.
Yeah,
this isn't the death knell. I mean, there's nothing that says a GMO is genetically modified food.
Well, I just think it doesn't matter because
lead to us all
you
dying
can have
of
genetically
cancer.
modified corn that gets used as an ingredient.
Hey, do you know who makes those chemicals for that stuff? To modify them?
You're talking about the Monsanto issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know about Monsanto.
No, I was asking Kevin.
Oh.
I know that there are companies. I didn't know if it was Monsanto or not. I know that there's companies.
And they're a big, nasty company.
They're the same company that developed Agent Orange.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, but again, that's moot though, because Hostess makes ding dongs, but they also made Twinkies, and they'll last through a nuclear war.
Agent Orange, that's a really
no. But what
big
I'm
deal.
saying, just to say that because they developed Agent Orange means that everything that they do is going to be horrible after that.
No, but it means, but if you take a child rapist and you put him back on the street and he's a level 3 sex offender,
well, keep away from kids. No, I'm not debating that. I'm just saying that you can't. First of all, it's apples and oranges. It's not even a fair argument. But to say, okay, Monsanto made Agent Orange, so anything else they have is not going to be good for society.
No, it means you have to pay closer attention to everything.
No,
that they do.
okay, that's very true. That is very true. All right,
keep an ankle bracelet on them.
Well, let's take a break. Let's take our break. We'll get our break out. Well, unless you're not ready for it, Strip. You don't roll your eyes at me. My God, it's like we're married. He rolls his eyes at me and he doesn't put out.
10 seconds.
10 seconds, fair enough. All right. When we come back, maybe we'll do some. Maybe I'll do some research between now and next week and get a little more into this 522 thing. I voted against it just because no other state has a law like that on the books. And I think it's unfair to ask our farmers to do more than what any other farmer in the country has to do. I think
farmers
it will drive
are already
up,
in enough trouble.
And I think it'll drive up our costs. I think it will drive up costs for them, which will only reflect back to cost to us. I think it will hurt our farmers from sending stuff out of the state because their stuff will have to be labeled differently. I just can't imagine it'll be very productive for agriculture in this state, which is one of the lifebloods of this state. Eastern Washington apples and steer and cattle and wheat and all the stuff that comes out of the east side of the state. Boy, man, you're screwing with the lifeblood of the state when no other state has laws along those lines. I just don't think it's gravy.
So we're going to have a little bit of fun before we get into the serious talk next hour about Obamacare.
Okay.
We've got a couple of videos, one from SNL, one from Jon Stewart, to kind of kick it off. So,
all right, Outlaw Radio Network, we're back after this. Give Stripper a hug.
Hi, this is Stephen Gardner from the Kitsap Sun. There are 3 things we try to do on the Kitsap Caucus blog. Give you more about the story that didn't fit in the regular piece. Give you the story behind the story. We also try to draw attention to other news you might have missed. And sometimes, I like to poke fun at Port Orchard. Read the Kitsap Caucus blog at thekitsapsun.com.
Make a difference in your community and volunteer at Kitsap Humane Society. We have opportunities for everyone and need help in all areas of the shelter. You can clean, feed, and help socialize animals or answer phones, greet customers, and help run special events and fundraisers. KHS volunteers also lead programs including our foster program, canine training, and animal-assisted therapy. If you are interested in volunteering at Kitsap Humane Society, visit our website at kitsap-humane.org.
I'm Elaine Terso with Elaine Terso Photography. I've partnered with Ish Vintage Clothing, the Oxford Suites, and Parties by a Perfect Place to create our unique boudoir, glam, and pinup parties, which is perfect for a girls' night out or bachelorette parties. You choose your theme, get your hair and makeup done, play dress up for the evening, and then receive an accordion booklet of your photos, plus an 8x10 of your favorite photo. For parties or 7 or more, the hostess is free. For more information about our unique parties, visit my website, elainetersophotography.com.
Located 3520 Kitsap Way in Bremerton, Arnold's Home Furnishing has been serving the Kitsap County community since 1951. For nearly 60 years, Arnold's has been here taking care of its customers with excellent customer service and quality merchandise you'll find nowhere else. And visit arnoldshomefurnishing.com to view all the merchandise available and see their current promotions. Arnold's Home Furnishing, to fit every lifestyle and budget.
The phone lines are open. Call now, 253-617-1440, 253-617-1440. The Outlaw Radio Network returns after this.
Getting married, entertaining clients, or maybe you're just having a bash with your friends. No matter the occasion, make sure you plug into the tunes with E&M Entertainment. There are tons of DJs out there, but how many of them want to get to know you beforehand so they can play your soundtrack at your event at your kind of price? It's more than just a great selection. E&M plays your great selection, and that makes all the difference. So call 425-971-8078. That's 425-971-8078 for E&M Entertainment.
Good evening. My name's Wayne. Some of you may have seen me before. I've been kicking around Hollywood a long time.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
Because I think it's the best thing of its kind that's come along. And I hope you'll agree with me. It's honest, it's adult, it's realistic.
You know, I love the fact that John Wayne was such a big fan of our show.
Can somebody someday please tell me, you know what, Paul? That was an awesome job of finding that clip. It was an awesome job of editing, and it sounds really cool to have John Wayne introduce the Outlaw Radio Network.
I did a great job putting that together.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, as long as somebody gets credit, that's all that matters.
I want credit for it.
Yeah.
I want credit for it. Adrian is in studio tonight. He'll be joining us later in the show. Just with a quick thumbs up or thumbs down, Adrian. Any word this week when the Sonics are coming back? Just thumb up or thumb down? Thumb down, okay.
Yeah. Right. Still sucks to be
I'm going to
Sonics
ask
fan.
you every week, by the way. That's going to be my residual question in the first hour. Any word this week, Adrian? And then you'll give me a thumbs down. Until the one time I ask and you give me a thumbs up, you'll run around the room naked, and then we'll never see you again. So,
why does
Hey, you know, we could always do the play-by-play for the Sonics. You could just hook that up. You could just get us going. We do that for free. We would do that for free.
Yeah, for the first season. After that, they'd have to start paying us a minimum wage salary.
Actually, I think Kevin Calabro would probably have dibs on that. They'd probably.
You know what? Is that not a guy that brings smile and pride to your face when it comes to a sports guy that's intertwined in the industry because he refused to leave and go to Oklahoma City?
You know what? There's I think we've been very blessed, and this is more of a third hour topic, but we've been very blessed on the caliber of people that we've had doing games in this market on play-by-play.
Yeah,
so
that is so true.
So Dave Niehaus for the longest time was the guy. The Sonics had Bob Blackburn, who was phenomenal until Bob stepped aside. Some people say forced aside, so Kevin Calabro could take over. And then, you know, Pete Gross for the Seahawks for the longest time. I'm not a huge fan of Steve Rabel. Steve Rabel's just kind of, he's just kind of standard. You know, like he's not bad, but there's nothing with listening to Steve Rabel do Seahawk games that makes me think, oh my God, this guy is hand over fist above everybody else. But you know, Bob Robertson and who's the guy that does the UW ones?
Bob Rondo.
Bob Rondo, and you know, Bob Roberts does the Cougs. You know, we've got some great play-by-play out here.
Keith Jackson
was
amazing.
Yeah,
still
was
is
great,
amazing,
yeah.
even though he's not so local anymore.
Yeah, he's kind of retired now. I think he's not doing very many games at all. Whoa, Nelly. Anyway, so I know that you've got some clips you're going to play.
We are, and because we want to kind of get people in a humorous mood here. We've got about 15 minutes before the top of the hour, so we can bring it back and we talk about the serious side of everything that's occurred here over the last week and a half with regards to the Obamacare stuff. So I know, Caleb, I just sent you the second clip, but go ahead and start with the first one, which is a clip from Saturday Night Live. And, well, it's Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live. And go. And now. There we go.
From the Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello there. Hi, I'm Kathleen Sebelius, Secretary of Health under President Obama. Now, a lot of folks have been talking about our new healthcare enrollment website, how it's been crashing and freezing and shutting down and stalling and not working and breaking and sucking. Well, tonight, I have a number of friendly tips to help you deal with those technical problems. For example, have you tried restarting your computer? Sometimes it helps to turn the computer off and then turn it back on. We don't know why, it just does. If our website still isn't loading properly, we're probably just overloaded with traffic. Millions of Americans are visiting healthcare.gov, which is great news. Unfortunately, the site was only designed to handle 6 users at a time. So if you're in a rush, consider using our low-res website with simpler fonts and graphics. Nice. Or if the regular English site isn't working, try signing up in a different language, like, say, Icelandic. And then choose one of 4 simple plans: Fjordflug, Hugelhofer, Trollish, or High Five. Now that's fun. And if our site keeps freezing, we've also provided links to other helpful websites, such as kayak.com, where you can purchase airline tickets to Canada and buy cheaper prescription drugs. Or how about BitTorrent, where you can download pirated copies of healthcare-related movies like Patch Adams. We also have links to a number of doctor-themed pornographic websites that should help you pass the time. Sites like Doctors Without Boundaries, Bang Ambulance, WebM Double Gs, and Blue Cross Blue Balls.
That's outstanding.
Still need guidance? Consult healthcare.gov's frequently asked questions for topics like, what the hell? How have I been on the same page for 3 hours? Does Obamacare cover mental health issues caused by using this website? And our most frequently asked question, who the government?
That's racist!
Or you can contact us by mail. Just send a postcard with the word help to the U.S. government. Attention, internet problems, Washington, D.C. And in 6 to 8 weeks, you'll receive an informational brochure, along with a trial version of Encarta Encyclopedia, plus 1,000 free hours of AOL. Just don't install any of these programs while our website is running, or it will cause an actual fire. So enjoy your new healthcare system, America. And be sure to like us on Facebook. Oh, look at that! We're already up to 3 likes. And I like that enthusiasm. IT, can we get someone from IT in here? No problem.
Fixed it!
Oh, and I almost forgot the most important thing of all. Whatever happens, do not... or you will die. Thank you for listening. And live from New York, it's Saturday night!
So that was
there you go.
That was cute. It was fun. I thought they had a lot of fun with it. It was actually...
It's pretty spot on.
It was
I like the tech
spot
guy. I like the tech guy. That reminds me of Strip. When things don't work around here, he just walks up with a baseball bat. Fix that!
Did you guys actually know that the company that designed the healthcare exchange, federal one, who it is?
Well, I know that she was a friend of Michelle Obama's from college.
The actual company.
CGI.
It's a company from Canada.
Yeah.
That got fired. Fired by Canada.
Canada Global Integration Services or something like that.
And Canada fired them.
Yes.
And we picked them up.
You know, Canada has a lot of laws in their country that requires you to use Canadian businesses, Canadian companies. Their radio stations have to play a specific amount of Canadian artists. There's some days I think that would be a bad idea down here to keep us from having to outsource stuff to other countries. No, I'm not being...
I get it. More government control.
Can I be honest, though?
Yeah.
Why are we going to Canada to do anything?
Terrence and Phillip.
Terrence and Philip, are there honestly tech companies in Canada that are more advanced than
Kevin,
Microsoft or Apple?
Kevin, again, most people don't know this. I just learned this today myself.
Please tell me, educate me.
But in point of fact, as Caleb pointed out, the company's from Canada. The company's chairwoman, is Michelle Obama's good friend from college, from Harvard. Yeah. And the contract, in point of fact, was awarded via no bid. Now, that's not all on the Obamas, because the company was one of, I think, 8 companies.
Does that bother you that they gave
a little bit? That it was no bid. Yes,
that bothers me. Sound a lot like Halliburton to you?
It doesn't. It does.
Dick Cheney
it doesn't bother me as much that they were friends. What bothers me is that it was awarded no bid. But here's the thing: Bush actually is the one who set up a total of 8 companies that were allowed to do tech work for the United States government. This was one of them. This one just happened to get this job via no bid, and she happens to be Michelle Obama's friend from college. I think there's too many coincidences there for it to be a good thing. Now, let's go ahead and roll the next clip. This is John...
Do we have enough time?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
This is Jon Stewart on his daily show, and I think... And this actually tends to go more towards the real information side of it, less comedy, more reality. And go.
But our top story tonight, let me tell you, shutdown fallout. The Republican shutdown tactics in politics were so offensive to even independents and moderates that this country looks like it is poised to turn bluer than a Smurf's balls after dry humping a bottle of Windex. Can't believe we have a picture for that. That's all the Democrats have to do to gain like an 80% to 20% advantage in this country. All that stands in their way is a mildly competent implementation of the healthcare policy they battled so hard to keep. Let's take a look.
The word glitch has been used by the White House.
That sounds promising. Let's hear more.
Healthcare.gov has been plagued by glitches, riddled with glitches.
Glitches.
Snafu. The bugs, the kinks, whatever you want to call this.
Glitches. Yes, apparently the healthcare.gov website has 99 problems, but a glitch is all of them. Which... Let's me introduce our new segment, Spinning Beach Ball of Healthcare. So what are we talking about here? A few page freezes?
Many who want to sign up are having trouble just getting on to the website, logging on.
Okay, so the first step doesn't work. Well, I have a feeling after that it's smooth sailing.
Wrong information on Medicaid eligibility and long delays in timeouts.
Oh, delays in timeouts? That's not so bad. I mean, it's also a feature of NFL games in America. America loves those.
Confusing error messages, broken calculators.
A calculator doesn't work? The one thing that's been included in computers since 1972? You couldn't make that work? What, is the only thing that the calculator does is spell out the word boobs no matter what you plug into it? How does the calculator not work? Give it to us straight, .gov. How bad is it?
According to a poll by the Associated Press, fewer than 1 in 10 people who tried to sign up in the first week were actually able to complete the process. That's a success rate of less than 10%.
Oh, my God. Less than 10%. How bad is that? 20% is the number of dentists who recommend sugared gum. How low is it? According to a recent poll, more of this country believes Obamacare has been repealed than have been able to sign up for Obamacare. The whole point of websites is to design them so that it is nearly impossible to not sign up for something. Every time I go on Amazon, there's a 40% chance I'll mistakenly overnight myself 6 seasons of Night Court. It's just the way it's designed. Are you sure you want to leave this page? Yes, I am. Oops, turns out I ordered something. So how are the Democrats going to spin this turd?
I think the number one point about the rollout is that there's huge interest. 19 million individual visits to the website. That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge. You've angered a lot of people.
The number one worry before we started was, are people going to be interested? Will people sign up? And the answer to that is overwhelmingly yes.
Yeah, but their number one worry was, will I be able to get health insurance out of this thing? And the answer to that appears to be 90%. But at least for the 10%ers who were able to log on and enroll live, she's a beautiful.
The Wall Street Journal reports the healthcare marketplace is generating flawed data for insurance companies. Everything from duplicate enrollments and missing data fields to problems with eligibility in spouses reported as children.
What kind of computer program forces you to marry your own children? How dare you? Turns out the Obamacare rollout was plagued by a lot more than just glitches. So much so, the President of the United States, who, as you know, does not usually man this country's IT support center, summoned us all this morning to the Rose Garden for a little Glengarry Glen Ross closer's spiel.
The Affordable Care Act is not just a website. The health insurance that's available to people is working just fine. Instead of paying $1,600 per month, we have a plan that will only cost us $692 a month. And that's a good deal. The product is good. I want people to be able to get this great product. And that product is working. It's really good.
When did the President of the United States turn into Gil from The Simpsons?
She's a beauty. I can't beat a calico. How many can I put you down for? A lot? Please say a lot. I need this.
This one is a good product. All right, but listen. He didn't stop, baby. Ron Popeil kept on selling.
You just heard Janice's story. She owns her own small business. She recently became a woman in role and coverage through Delaware's Exchange.
So that's one. You know, people say you can't use the website. Have you told them about Janice? From Delaware? Hey, but you know what? God bless. She signed up. She deserves to be up there to prove that this can be done easily.
It took her 7 hours on the phone and online. Eventually, she had to go through and clean out all the cookies from her cache, and then she was able to sign up. But she did sign up from the small state of Delaware.
She had to move. She had to move, and she is no longer married, but it is done. She did. She is done. She had to move. She had to do a giant tattoo of a spider on her neck, but it's done. She has it. It's done. Yes, it turns out even the photo op to address the poorly planned rollout of Obamacare suffered from a clear lack of planning, as evidenced by the decision, perhaps unwise in hindsight, to place the pregnant woman with diabetes in the sun next to the president. Good save. Give the woman some water. But fear not, help is on the way.
We've had some of the best IT talent in the entire country join the team, and we're well into a tech surge to fix the problem.
A surge? Your website is so we have to use the same strategy we used to salvage the Iraq War? Well, our own John Oliver has been trying to sign up for Obamacare. He joins us right now. John!
Please don't leave. Don't leave, John, please.
Son, where are you?
Okay. Here's what happened. To healthcare.gov, just like you asked.
Thanks.
I gave them all my information. I pressed enter. There was a giant sucking sound. Next thing I knew, I was inside their website, John. I'm stuck in here. It's awful. It's horrible in here.
Wow. So there are still a few glitches.
Glitches? Glitches? Look at me, John. I didn't get a 404 file unfound screen, I got sucked into the mainframe. Glitches.
Is that code behind you? Is that code?
Yeah.
Isn't that supposed to be zeros and ones?
Yeah,
I think
it's 4s and 5s here, John.
Weird.
I don't know which subcontractor that up. This is elemental coding.
Well, let me ask you, do you at least have health insurance now?
I don't, John. No. Apparently, I'm still being processed. But, like the president says, the product is good.
All right.
It's just that there is a small risk that applicants might get sucked into a Tron-like cyber bureaucratic nightmare with no escape.
Have you tried just hitting escape?
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay. That was the first thing I tried. Okay, that was the first thing.
All right.
No, John, my best hope is that they're going to begin to fix in some way.
Right.
Oh, no, John, I've got to get out of here.
What is that? Is that what I think it is?
How old is this software, John? Wow! Call the help desk.
That was unbelievable. Well, the website is very busy, so I can't get you help right now.
Quickly, he's coming back, John. He's coming back.
No! You hate to see that. Everybody. Oh, we'll be right back.
That's insanity.
Tell me that wasn't funny.
I love the fact that you are finally referencing Jon Stewart on
every
this
once
show.
in a while.
I think Jon Stewart should run for office.
No.
Hey, listen, we have top of the hour news, although a little bit late. When we take the news, when we come back, I want to ask you a question about the validity of a third party. Mm-hmm. Is America ready for a third party now?
Well, and when we come back, we are going to talk about some of the stats, figures, some of the stuff that's going on with Obamacare.
Oh, is that next too? God, it's a full show.
It's called a freaking segue.
You don't get this on cable.
The segue.
Outlaw Radio Network. Stay tuned.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Barbara Klein. A team of German intelligence officials is heading to Washington, seeking explanations about reports that the U.S. has been eavesdropping on Chancellor Angela Merkel. Amid the rising diplomatic tensions, former Vice President Dick Cheney defended U.S. surveillance today on ABC's This Week.
Our overall intelligence capabilities are important to the security of this nation and need to be preserved.
A German newspaper reported today that U.S. intelligence leaked by Edward Snowden suggests President Obama knew about the surveillance as early as 2010. The National Security Agency denies reports that General Keith Alexander, who heads the agency, informed the president about any alleged monitoring. The world's chemical weapons watchdog confirms Syria has met today's deadline to provide details of its poison gas and nerve agent program and an initial plan to destroy it. The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons says Damascus's declaration is a crucial part of a strict and ambitious timeline to eliminate Syria's lethal stockpile by the middle of next year. A former U.S. Army private who was seized by leftist guerrillas in Colombia last June has been released after intense diplomatic negotiations. NPR's Lourdes Garcia Navarro reports.
The Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, or FARC, handed over Kevin Scott Sute in the same area where he disappeared 4 months ago. Sute served as a private in the U.S. military and was deployed in Afghanistan until 2011. The FARC had said it suspected him of being an agent of the U.S. government when he was captured. But officials and international reporters who met with him during his captivity say he was simply a tourist determined to travel through the jungle to Venezuela. The FARC are currently negotiating a peace deal with Colombia's government that will end decades of bloody civil war. Lourdes Garcia Navarro, NPR News.
Rock and roll poet, singer, and innovator Lou Reed has died at the age of 71. He suffered complications following a liver transplant. As NPR's Neda Ulaby reports, Reed was one of the most influential musicians to emerge from New York's avant-garde rock scene.
In 1972, Lou Reed issued this invitation.
Hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side. Said, hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side.
Lou Reed's only top 40 hit remains resonant with his favorite themes: drugs, deviance, and danger, filtered through a darkly intellectual, even grandiloquent sensibility. Reed co-founded the seminal New York band The Velvet Underground and came to embody an East Village culture he helped create, with the likes of Andy Warhol and Laurie Anderson, his third wife. Lou Reed's projects were idiosyncratic and often divisive, but he's cited by just about every rocker who followed him as an influence. Neda Ulaby, NPR News.
This is NPR. A roadside bomb exploded in eastern Afghanistan today, killing 18 people who were in a minibus traveling to a wedding. Officials in Ghazni province say most of the victims were women. Violence by Taliban insurgents in Afghanistan has spiked in recent months as NATO forces transfer security responsibilities to the Afghans. A wave of sectarian violence in Iraq continues unabated. At least 55 people were killed today in a series of bombings. The BBC's Ahmad Meyer reports most of the explosions appear to be coordinated attacks in predominantly Shiite districts of Baghdad.
The bombs were placed in parked cars and all detonated in busy streets, mainly in Shia areas in Baghdad. The destructive impact of the explosions was clear. The scene of one of the bombings was marked by the wreckage of burnt-out cars, pools of blood, and the scattered belongings of the victims. Violence in Iraq has reached its worst levels since the end of the sectarian conflict between Shias and Sunnis almost 6 years ago.
The BBC's Ahmad Meyer in Baghdad. Iranian authorities have ordered some anti-American posters plastered around the capital be taken down. The posters depict an American diplomat in a jacket and tie sitting at a negotiating table. Under the table, he's wearing military pants and boots and points a gun at an Iranian envoy. Iran's official news agency says the billboards were put up illegally. Their removal has been described as a gesture toward mending relations between the U.S. and Iran as the two prepare for talks on Tehran's nuclear program. I'm Barbara Klein, NPR News in Washington.
Support for...
Hi, this is Stephen Gardner from the Kitsap Sun. There are 3 things we try to do on the Kitsap Caucus blog. Give you more about the story that didn't fit in the regular piece, give you the story behind the story. We also try to draw attention to other news you might have missed. And sometimes, I like to poke fun at Port Orchard. Read the Kitsap Caucus blog at thekitsapsun.com.
Make a difference in your community and volunteer at Kitsap Humane Society. We have opportunities for everyone and need help in all areas of the shelter. You can clean, feed, and help socialize animals, or answer phones, greet customers, and help run special events and fundraisers. KHS volunteers also lead programs including our foster program, canine training, and animal-assisted therapy. If you are interested in volunteering at Kitsap Humane Society, visit our website at kitsap-humane.org.
I'm Elaine Terso with Elaine Terso Photography. I've partnered with Ish Vintage Clothing, the Oxford Suites, and Parties by a Perfect Place to create our unique boudoir, glam, and pinup parties, which is perfect for a girls' night out or bachelorette parties. You choose your theme, get your hair and makeup done, play dress up for the evening, and then receive an accordion booklet of your photos, plus an 8x10 of your favorite photo. For parties for 7 or more, the hostess is free. For more information about our unique parties, visit my website, ElaineTersophotography.com.
Located 3520 Kitsap Way in Bremerton, Arnold's Home Furnishing has been serving the Kitsap County community since 1951. For nearly 60 years, Arnold's has been here taking care of its customers with excellent customer service and quality merchandise you'll find nowhere else. And visit arnoldshomefurnishing.com to view all the merchandise available and see their current promotions. Arnold's Home Furnishing, to fit every lifestyle and budget.
The phone lines are open. Call now, 253-617-1440, 253-617-1440. The Outlaw Radio Network returns after this.
Getting married, entertaining clients, or maybe you're just having a bash with your friends. No matter the occasion, make sure you plug into the tunes with E&M Entertainment. There are tons of DJs out there, but how many of them want to get to know you beforehand so they can play your soundtrack at your event at your kind of price? It's more than just a great selection. E&M plays your great selection, and that makes all the difference. So call 425-971-8078. That's 425-971-8078 for E&M Entertainment.
Good evening. My name's Wayne. Some of you may have seen me before. I've been kicking around Hollywood a long time.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
Because I think it's the best thing of its kind that's come along. And I hope you'll agree with me. It's honest, it's adult, it's realistic.
Outlaw Radio Network, hour number 2. I'm tallying up the scores
from last week. That needs to conveniently wait.
It can wait. I was trying to do it during the break. That's all I was trying to do. I was just trying to make
I thought you were going to start talking about it. I'm like going, oh, no.
No, I was trying to get it caught up before the break. I will tell you that something happened this week that has never happened in the history of the pool.
What's that? Oh.
I will not tell you until 9:30 when we do picks.
Never happened before.
But let's just say that last week we added 2 new people doing the picks. Adrian, are you going to do the picks every week? Are you going to be here every week to do the picks? God, look, he's already committed to the cause.
Yeah, he is. Well, we're hoping to talk him into doing his own sports.
You're not going to pull a lurch and just do this for a couple weeks and then vanish, are you? No? All right, just checking. Not that I'm insulting
sex with a
Lurch.
cheap hooker.
Not that I'm insulting Lurch, but I'm insulting Lurch. So we added Dez and we added Adrian to doing the picks every week.
Right.
Because it was just too hard to get a guest picker every week. I tried to get Obama to do it, but he said he couldn't get the website to work. And so
hey, don't worry. Everybody around here is just used to you failing. So when
Used to
you
who
fail,
failing?
it's no you.
Me failing?
Yeah.
Me fail?
Yeah. You fail to get guest pickers on every week almost lately. It seems, anyways. So you know.
I've only failed once to have a guest picker.
No, at least twice.
No, once, because once Stephen Gardner was going to do it, but we missed him.
Yeah, and then you had another one after that.
Yeah,
and
that was it.
I think you had another week where you just didn't have anybody picked out, and you had a week where I had to do it.
You were the guest picker that week. Are you not? Are you too good to be a guest picker?
Come on.
Is that how this is now?
Come on. Don't.
Shut your pie hole and go back to do your job. Do you know your role?
What?
You didn't have to shut mine off. I wasn't saying nothing.
I didn't shut yours off.
Oh, okay.
Just his.
Right on.
Score. All right, Paul. It's all yours.
What did I do?
You're going to go
really
over some
good
facts.
chocolate,
I
by
know.
the way. What is this?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups came out with a Reese's, like a chocolate bar. It's called a Reese's XL.
Dang.
And they're squares. They're like chocolate. They're like Reese's Peanut Butter squares.
Oh, damn, that's disgustingly good.
We just gave them a free plug. Hey, every time we talk about anything like this, we need to send them a bill and see if they'll cut us a check.
You know what? Thanks for sharing with the rest of us on the other
I
side.
have some in here for you, actually. Look, Strip, there's some left in the bag in here for you to share.
I can't see the bag.
He wasn't sure if you were going to be able to eat chocolate or peanut butter.
Because chocolate is not a vegan because it comes from milk, which is an animal byproduct. Yeah. Mister, I'm a vegan.
I'm mostly vegan.
Can you have chocolate?
Huh?
Can you have chocolate?
If I want to, I can.
Do you want to have chocolate, or do you not want to make your girlfriend mad at you?
We had pizza yesterday.
She had non-vegan food at my Halloween party yesterday.
Can I tell you something? You brought up Mr. Be a Vegan. I used to work with this lady, and her name was...
Come in here and get these. Open the door. I'll toss them to you.
This is funny. You're gonna like
for you and Desi. I want to share. Open the fucking door.
I'll get them at the next break.
Hey,
open the door.
Your mouth.
Or I'll eat them. If you leave them in here, I'll eat them. Open the door. Go ahead. What now? You used to work with a lady?
Yeah. And her last name was Musavisa
Are you serious?
Dead serious. Can make that...
Wait, Musavisa?
Yeah.
Wow, Norwegian?
I have no clue. I only talked to her on the phone. Never knew, because she was on another part of the country.
Sure.
But her last name was Musavisa. And
wow.
Man, I'll tell you what. That has got to be the oddest last name. It's right up there with Saltalamacchia. But anyway, so...
That's awesome. Musavisa.
Yeah.
Could you spell that if you had to?
No, I could not, sir.
That is outstanding.
Yeah. So
there are people, because for people who don't know, I talk with people from all over the country as part of my day job.
Which is?
And I work for the federal government. but what I'll say is I talk with people from all over the country, and every once in a while you get these people that give you their names, and it's just...
Aren't they all supposed to give you their names?
What I mean is they'll give you their names, and you're like, holy crap, how do you spell it? What do you do with it? I've never gotten one like Musavisa.
Well,
but I've gotten some that are close.
So here's what we're going to talk about.
During next break, I have a story to tell you about somebody I talked to last week.
Okay, well, we
I will not provide any private information, though, because that would be a violation of federal law. But go ahead.
Unless the person represented a conservative or conservative group. All right.
Hey, don't lump me into that. Don't lump me into that. I do not play favorites. I do. Listen, I'm a karaoke host on the weekends.
Agency, right? I know.
No, we do not. Don't start leveling accusations at me and my people.
I didn't level them.
But you are.
I'm just reiterating them.
And you conservatives choose to ignore the fact that even though the IRS was called out, not saying that I worked there, that even though the IRS was called out for targeting conservative groups, there was a large number of liberal groups that were targeted as well.
5.
No, it was more than 5.
No, it was 5.
It was more than 5.
No, it was 5.
More than 5.
It was 5.
I will have information for you next week to prove it was more than 5.
You do that.
I need the websites for that, and I won't be able to pull it up during the show. But I'll have information for you.
5 liberal groups.
It was more than that.
179 conservative groups.
I'm not saying that it was
disproportionately bad.
Well, first of all, would you agree that there? And again, I'm not saying it's 5 or 1.
No, this is not what we're talking about right now.
But would you agree?
You're getting off topic.
But would you agree that there's probably percentage-wise more conservative PACs forming than
not the way the elections came out.
No, I'm serious. Wouldn't you think that there's more conservative PACs than liberal PACs? And not that there's anything wrong with the PAC.
175 to 5? No.
No. But I'm not saying that ratio, but I'm just saying that usually the group that's not in power is going to have more of a grassroots behind it. So I would think that because Democrats are in power, there's less of a passion behind them for them to form PACs.
Well, I think,
and then the conservatives would do it. And if the roles reversed when we had a Republican president again, then I would think you'd see more liberal PACs forming.
Yeah, I don't know that that's the case. Maybe not. I don't think it's relevant.
Just my thought.
But so we were going to talk about some of the stuff.
Anything I can use to deflect.
I want to talk about some of these numbers that are coming out here after the first couple of weeks. Now, keep in mind, I want to kind of some interesting points were brought up. Okay, the president was going to institute a surge of quote unquote the brightest minds in America to fix the problems with Obamacare. You heard that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
If we didn't have the brightest minds in America already working on it, what do we have? The junior varsity team? Who was working on this project? Oh, wait, I know. Canadians.
Well, I don't know if there's anything wrong with Canadians.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with Canadians. I'm just simply saying that where's their dog in the fight? $85 billion contract just for that one company for CGI. So anyway, point is, we start looking at some of the numbers. This stuff is troubling, okay? Let's take a look. Now, do you know how many people as of yesterday had signed up in Washington State?
I don't. Can I guess?
You can guess, sure.
In Washington State, 27,000?
No. 35,000 people have signed up in Washington State.
That was close.
Of the 35,000 signed up in Washington State, take a guess as to what percentage of them are on Medicaid.
92%.
87%.
Again, I'm close.
That's one of those really, really highly unsustainable things. You know that, right? Because Medicaid is free. You don't pay for it.
Right.
So, for example, for me, my wife is already paying for her insurance for her and our 2 kids through her work. Okay? Now, if I go to sign up because of my income, okay, for just me, I'm going to pay about $290 a month for my Obamacare. Okay? She will still continue to pay almost $500 a month for hers at work. That's about $800 a month in medical expenses that we have to pay in order to meet the requirements of Obamacare.
Okay.
Okay? That represents about 25% of our take-home pay. Okay?
Okay.
Number one, let's start with this. That's not cool. Okay?
Okay.
That's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. That means that there are going to be times when I'm going to have to choose between paying a bill or paying for the federally mandated Obamacare. Okay, that's number one. That's a bad thing.
Okay,
hold on.
Right.
That is a bad thing.
Go ahead.
If somebody comes to you and says, "By the way, we want 25% of your paycheck to pay for something you may or may not need," okay, you would be like, "What the Jack?" Okay, that's number one. Number two, if she were to discontinue her health care at her work, saving us $400 and some odd a month through her work, guess what? Then it costs me to get Obamacare for me, my wife, and 2 kids.
Nothing.
Medicaid. Right. I just saved over $700 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? What do you think I'm going to do? What's my motivation there?
Save yourself some money.
Damn straight. Okay?
Yeah.
That is an unsustainable practice.
If you have, I had this question before, and I don't know, I haven't been able to find the answer.
Go ahead.
If you get on Medicare for free,
Medicaid,
sorry, for free.
I know it is actually Medicare, Medicaid. It is confusing.
Confusing, whatever. Yeah. If you get on Medicaid for free, are you then meeting the requirements so you don't have the penalty?
Yes.
So you don't even pay for that out of your taxes then. So you're flat zeroed all the way across, straight across. You don't even have a penalty.
In fact, in Washington State, if you make less than $45,000 a year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's what you're going to get.
Wow.
For free. Now, there is a problem with that based on your point of view, in that Medicaid doesn't cover everything. Medicaid,
Right.
There's still a lot of deductibles and stuff like that, and there's still a lot of stuff you're going to pay for out of pocket, but you have health insurance. Okay. Medicaid has been in existence for a long time. It is for people that are too poor to afford their own health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you agree with the 45,000 number? Like if you were to say
$45,000
$45,000 of income, that if you're eligible to $45,000, that if you make less than that, then you're probably not making enough to be able to afford insurance. Initially, I would have thought, God, $45,000 is a lot of money to earn a year not to be able to afford insurance. But when you look at the rate that they're charging for insurance, is 45 a reasonable number?
Yes.
I would think that if you're making $35,000 to $40,000 a year and then asking someone to pay $300 or $400 a month,
because that's where my wife and I are.
That really becomes exclusionary.
We're between $35,000 to $40,000 a month, and
for you guys that would be exclusionary. That would really be hard to afford the high cost of insurance.
Yeah.
And then Medicaid would really seem to make sense from a personal, not from a government choice, but from a personal choice.
Now, a couple other states' information that I have. Kentucky, 26,000 are enrolled. 82% of them are on Medicaid. In New York, 37,000 are enrolled, and 64% are on Medicaid. Now, you take New York State, which has a very high median income.
Sure.
Very high compared to the rest of the country. It's like California, New York, Illinois, Texas, and a couple other states have really high median incomes because of the primary types of employment and stuff like that that's there,
and the cost of living.
And so, still 64% of them are on Medicaid. It is a horribly, and this is what conservatives have been saying. The numbers don't lie, and they tell us this is not going to work. And then we take a look at some of the numbers coming out from the insurance companies. Now, the insurance companies, before I read these numbers, will tell you we are going through a transition period.
Right.
Okay. So California and Florida, let's take a look at those two states. California and Florida. Florida this week has dropped 300,000 people from their health care rolls.
Right.
300,000 people as of January 1st are losing their health care through the state of Florida.
Right.
Period. Done. Gone. You're off. Okay. Now those health insurance companies will tell you, well, it's because those plans that those people were on didn't meet the minimum requirements of Obamacare. Okay. But what I'm going to tell you is that today those people have health insurance. As of the 1st of January, they won't have health insurance, and it is as a result of Obamacare. Okay. Now we get to California. California, Kaiser Permanente, which is just one insurance company.
A very large one, but
correct.
Yes,
but in California alone, they are dropping 160,000 people from their rolls. The New York Times estimated...
I did a lot of research.
The New York Times has estimated that as many as 50% of currently insured people in the United States of America may lose their health care as a result of the Affordable Care Act. Now, the reason I bring that up, because I'm sure people listening to this, like Don, are saying, well, what difference does it make? They're going to just get Obamacare and everything's blah, 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 blah.
Donnie's calling you out again.
So, well, I'm just saying that but a lot of people, that's their point, okay? And listen, I think that to some degree that's a valid point.
Well, see, now you and I are totally up. I don't think it's valid at all. And
let me finish. But here's why it's a very bad thing. And here's why I'm actually angry about it. Okay? Because as many people, and I have never changed my tone once. Anybody here can challenge me and prove me wrong. But I have always said this is a law that I am personally going to benefit from. But it is bad law. No matter how you slice it and dice it. There's a myriad of reasons why, but this is a very, very bad law. Whether you talk about the unsustainability, the fact that you're not going to be able to... Now, mind you, the median point of people that are enrolling in this country between the ages of 26 and 35, those are the ones who are going to carry the brunt of this insurance cost. Okay? 7 million people in that age group have to enroll by March, I think it's 31st, into the Affordable Care Act in order for the Affordable Care Act to pay for itself. Okay? 7 million in that age range. Why? Because they are paying the most.
Exactly.
Okay? Now, with that in mind, let me pull up these stats and figures. Let me find them. I had them right here. Really? God damn it.
By the way, if you have a thought on this, you can give us a call at 253-617-1440. Desiree will be keeping a keen eye on the Skype.
I think I have. Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. Go back. Caleb, I'm not connecting to your house. Hold on a second here.
Well, and let me echo one thing, and you touched on what I was going to say, which is the need to have a younger generation demographic paying into the system to balance it out, because they're not going to be using from the system right away. So it's kind of like Social Security.
Right.
You pay into it early, you contribute as you go. The older group is pulling from the joint compilation of people who put in, the older and the younger, because the youngers are putting in, but they're not going to be using it.
Right.
Then as you age, then you pull into it, but the younger demographic is putting into it as well, and it balances itself out. And go back to those percentages really quick.
The percentage, the percentage of people that are on Medicaid?
Yeah. So if you look at it, again, this is free, so they're not contributing to it.
Right.
87, 82, 64 in the 3 states, Washington, Kentucky, New York. Now, if you just assume that those are going to be, let's take the average of those, which I think would say 64, 82, 87, let's say 78%. It's probably your average in there somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere around
maybe
there.
80. So let's say 80 for easy math. If 80% of people are getting it for free, that is going to really kill how this works.
That means 20% of the population is paying for the other 80%,
and it's going to drive up the cost. It's going to kill it. So,
and that gets to the meat. When we come back, I'm going to actually give you numbers on how much the increases have infected in every single state in the union.
Stick around, Outlaw Radio Network, Pulse and Research. Take notes. This is good stuff.
Hi, this is Stephen Gardner from the Kitsap Sun. There are 3 things we try to do on the Kitsap Caucus blog. Give you more about the story that didn't fit in the regular piece. Give you the story behind the story. We also try to draw attention to other news you might have missed. And sometimes, I like to poke fun at Port Orchard. Read the Kitsap Caucus blog at thekitsapsun.com.
Make a difference in your community and volunteer at Kitsap Humane Society. We have opportunities for everyone and need help in all areas of the shelter. You can clean, feed, and help socialize animals, or answer phones, greet customers, and help run special events and fundraisers. KHS volunteers also lead programs including our foster program, canine training, and animal-assisted therapy. If you are interested in volunteering at Kitsap Humane Society, visit our website at kitsap-humane.org.
I'm Elaine Terso with Elaine Terso Photography. I've partnered with Ish Vintage Clothing, the Oxford Suites, and Parties by a Perfect Place to create our unique boudoir, glam, and pinup parties, which is perfect for a girls' night out or bachelorette parties. You choose your theme, get your hair and makeup done, play dress up for the evening, and then receive an accordion booklet of your photos, plus an 8x10 of your favorite photo. For parties or 7 or more, the hostess is free. For more information about our unique parties, visit my website, ElaineTersophotography.com.
Located 3520 Kitsap Way in Bremerton, Arnold's Home Furnishing has been serving the Kitsap County community since 1951. For nearly 60 years, Arnold's has been here taking care of its customers with excellent customer service and quality merchandise you'll find nowhere else. And visit arnoldshomefurnishing.com to view all the merchandise available and see their current promotions. Arnold's Home Furnishing, to fit every lifestyle and budget.
The phone lines are open. Call now, 253-617-1440, 253-617-1440. The Outlaw Radio Network returns after this.
Getting married, entertaining clients, or maybe you're just having a bash with your friends. No matter the occasion, make sure you plug into the tunes with E&M Entertainment. There are tons of DJs out there, but how many of them want to get to know you beforehand so they can play your soundtrack at your event at your kind of price? It's more than just a great selection. E&M plays your great selection, and that makes all the difference. So call 425-971-8078. That's 425-971-8078 for E&M Entertainment.
In times of tyranny and injustice, when law oppresses the people, the outlaw takes his place in history.
Are you ready? This could be the greatest night of our lives.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
You got a thing for Western acoustic music, don't you?
It's the Outlaw Radio Network.
No, I know. I'm just saying. You can tell who puts these things together because the intros are done by Paul, which is a very...
they have to set the mood.
Western... I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying you can very tell the difference in our styles. And then the outs are these kind of rock, ballady out stuff. Yes,
I was just going to tell Paul that not all outlaws are Western.
That's right.
You got bikers and all different things.
That's right.
Like that.
Yeah,
I've got other ones. I've got more that I was working on.
I believe Trayvon Martin was an outlaw and should be saluted.
Did you see the dude who made a costume?
Oh, yes, I
did.
For
Halloween. It's half Trayvon Martin and half George Zimmerman.
By the way, this is for Adrian. Did you see the guy that went to the Eagles Giants game? His costume was on the front of it. He had a Giants jersey, and when he turned around, the back half was an Eagles jersey, and it said Eagles and it said Super Bowls on the nameplate, and below it said 0. It was awesome. It was outstanding. All right, so go ahead. So I know that you've got some other numbers. But to get back to what we were talking about before, 80% paying into this doesn't make it. You need 80% of people that are not draining from the system right now to be. You need 80% of the people paying into it to be not using it, essentially, to be building up capital into it, to fund it for the 20%, the elderly, the handicapped, the people
can't work
with
anyway. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the people with major health issues, cancer, whatever. The 20% needs to pull from the other 80% that are paying that aren't really using it.
Right.
And these numbers won't wash. Now, the only caveat that I have, and I know you're going to go by some state-by-state numbers here in a second. The only caveat I have is it's probably too early, wouldn't you agree, to come up to any hard conclusions at this point because the site's been a problem. It's only been out for a while. People have a good chunk of time to enroll. I think they have a whole year to enroll, right?
They have till March 31st before they pay the penalty.
Okay, so they got till March to enroll, so they got plenty of time to get enrolled.
Yep, very valid points you're making. Yes.
So a lot of these numbers could come out in the wash. The other thing I will tell you is that the younger demographic is more likely to say, hey, I'm going to wait till the last minute.
Well,
for two reasons.
You're thinking that now until I read you these numbers.
Right. I think the younger demographic is more likely to wait till the last minute for two reasons. One, procrastinators generally, the younger demographic tends to procrastinate more. But secondly, younger demographic is used to new websites and new items rolling out. The number of people I talk to about picking up the Xbox One, the number of people I've talked to that have said, no, I'm not going to buy it. Well, why not? Because I'm going to wait till it's been out for a little bit so they can take all the bugs out of it before I go buy mine. And I think a lot of people are going to think that about the website. I hear about all this crap. I'm not even going to go register now. I'm going to wait. Let's let them work it out. Then I'll go enroll. We'll wait till the last 30 days or whatever.
And I'm going to actually add to that.
And that's a problem.
I'm going to add to this why I think you're right. Because the people like myself, for example, who have not had health care for a great deal of time, it's advantageous for us to sign up now and have our health care kick in on the first of the year.
Yeah.
That is an advantage, and that is something that people like myself who haven't had health care are going to look forward to and say, okay, I need to go in and get a checkup and cough and, all that other stuff.
But here's the problem. That site's going to get hit with people en masse in the last 30 days, last minute in this. And any kinks that they work out, I seriously believe this, and I don't know anybody on the inside. I'm not, I don't know anything about this, but I think that they're going to get slammed again, and the site's going to go down again, and you're going to have all these issues pop up again because of the number of people that wait till the last minute that inundate that website. There should have been a year to sign up. I mean, there should have been a solid year to sign up.
Now you're sounding like a conservative Republican.
No, I'm sounding like somebody who's smart that knows technology and knows that people are scared of new technology.
But
and it's not about conservative or liberal.
That was the Tea Party's point.
Well, but the Tea Party was right on that respect. I don't believe that good ideas are purely liberal.
Right.
There should have been a year with the site up. And I honestly believe, too, if you're in a hurry to go enroll, my personal opinion, I don't speak for anybody, I don't know anything, there's no way they don't delay the individual mandate. There's no way they don't. There's no way they can't. There's no way that Obama still leaves this in effect. In fact, I'd bet by January 1st, they've come out and said, we're going to delay the individual mandate. You have until the end of the calendar year to enroll or something like that. Because they can't get out of their own way on this. I mean, they just can't. You can't expect people to enroll on a site. Now, the other thing I'll say is, for most people, this is not an issue. Most people are getting insurance through their employers. So they don't have to worry about the website. But for those people that do, that have to enroll through the website and have to go through this process, there's no way the March deadline still holds true. And when Democrats start breaking ranks and talking about it, It's only a matter of time before Obama comes through with it as well. Because Obama and the Democrats have to be progressive thinking. They have to be forward thinking.
Sure.
They have to accept the fact that now how we proceed is going to affect the midterm elections in November. Because let's be honest, that's all they care about. How does this affect the midterm elections in November? How does this damage our party? How does this help our party? So if Obama comes out in January or in December and says we're going to delay the mandate for another 12 months, that's going to help his party in the midterms. If they say this is still in effect and that March deadline comes around, you're going to bolster Tea Party candidates, you're going to bolster conservative candidates, and you're going to help them right in the middle of primary season. And that anger is just going to carry through it. There's no way this holds true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this will get pushed until after November at least. But that's just my opinion.
Sure.
I'm not an expert. I'm not an insider. I just can't see this remaining. But go ahead. You've got some state-by-state numbers.
Let's start by picking a few states out here.
Are you amazed I agreed with the Tea Party on something? Are you amazed?
Yeah, actually, pretty much.
Just checking.
Let's see. So I'm looking here at this big chart, and the chart list is, you can go to heritage.org. You can find it yourself, and I'll give Des the link here in a minute, and she can put it up.
Yes, please do.
If the title of the article is Comparing the Costs of Buying Health Insurance, and what it basically does is it'll by looking at this list, and they use different models and different sign-up models and stuff like that to put this all together. You can figure out, you can get an idea for a lot of how this stuff is going within Obamacare, because remember, I don't think anybody in here would disagree with me when I say the president made some very specific promises with regards to the rollout of Obamacare.
Yes.
Okay. First started with Nancy Pelosi. Well, we have to pass the bill so you can see what's in it. Mm-hmm. Okay. The president says, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor, period. Unquote. If you like your health care insurance, you can keep your health care insurance, period, unquote. He actually said the period. I didn't add that. And he was doing it to emphasize that he was telling the truth, and this is exactly how it was going to be. Now that it has started, now that it has began, listen, the truth of the matter is nobody on any side of the aisle, whether you love him or hate him, can say that the man was telling the truth. Either he was intentionally lying, or somebody sold him a false bill of goods, or he was reading talking points, whatever his excuse was. Those were fabrications. They were falsehoods. They were not true. They were lies, whatever you want to call them.
Okay, how so? How were they falsehoods?
Because hundreds of thousands of people have not got to keep their doctor or their health care insurance.
But why is that?
Because the exchanges are forcing them to change their doctors, because certain doctors and programs aren't covered under the exchange programs, and many of the insurance companies and many thousands of employers are dropping their insurers.
Okay.
They're insured.
So I would agree and disagree with you then on that point. I would say if it is indeed true that the exchanges are making them choose different doctors, then that would mean that he either lied or was misinformed or gave wrong information to the American people. To say you can keep your insurance, I don't put any of that on him, because it's not a decision made by him or made by the exchanges. It's basically the insurance companies making decisions after that about what they're going to do to change things.
That's a fair and valid point, Kevin.
I just think that's outside of his control.
Except that when people started taking a look at this program, they immediately said there's no way people are going to be able to keep their health insurance plans, because the way the law is written, it encourages the health insurance companies and the employers to drop these people. It encouraged them, just like it encouraged me and my wife to drop her insurance so that I could sign up.
It encourages them because of the costs.
It encourages them because of the costs. So,
Strip, you have a comment?
People were saying it from the get-go, from day one.
Actually, it doesn't encourage businesses necessarily. It's not black and white in the way that it encourages employers.
That's not true. It does encourage a business.
No, it does not. It actually fines big companies, especially
only
big
companies that employ over 50 people. And so what those companies have done is they've dropped employees to part-time in order to not fall into the category.
No, not even that. You're missing it. Actually,
there
was a big thing a while back. A lot of large companies were actually debating whether or not to drop their employees' health care and just pay the fines. I mean, point blank, that's exactly what they were thinking about doing. And some did, some didn't. Depends on the company. Because it is cheaper for the companies just to pay the fines.
You just agreed with me then. Why were you saying
no,
that?
It's not black and white like you're making it sound to be.
Nothing's ever black and white.
So.
When I read these numbers off, you'll understand. Pick a state for me, Strip. Any state of the union.
Pick
Washington.
Washington State? Okay, let's take a look at the cost. An adult age up to the age of 27, on average, would pay in the state of Washington for health care insurance about $124 a month. Through the Washington State Healthcare Exchange, the average price for that same adult in a healthcare plan is now $215 for an increase of 73.4%. An adult age 50, $314 before Obamacare was the cost on their insurance plan. $355 is their cost after the exchange for an increase of 13.1%. A family of 4 before $720. Now this one's kind of cool. I don't have much of a fault with this.
Sure.
Afterwards, $745 for an increase of 3.4%. That's not bad for a family of 4.
Okay.
Okay. So give me another state. Somebody give me a state.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. That would be under N or M.
It'd be under
That's
N.
a joke. I was
Good
totally
Lord.
kidding. Just thought it was funny. $105 for an adult at the age of 27. Okay. After Obamacare implementation, $189 for that same adult of the age 27. It's an 80% increase. 12.4% increase for an adult age 50, and a 3.2% increase for families of 4. There are a total, because I want to make sure I'm fair here, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states that have actually basically upheld the president's promise and brought health care costs down. Okay? Because that was part of his big push, right? You're going to be able to draw from a big pool like big companies do, and everybody's going to be able to bring their health care costs down. Well, that's only happening in 5 states in the union. Can you guess at what any one of those 5 states are?
5 states. Let me think.
Just try to get one right.
Florida.
Let's see. Florida.
Wait, what are you?
Nope.
What are you trying to guess?
There are 5 states where the healthcare cost actually went down. Now, can you take a guess at one of those states?
Rural or
Wyoming.
No, outlying areas or areas where there's not a large population. It's actually going to increase.
You think it'll increase in Wyoming?
I believe so. It has to do with the amount of insurance companies that are in the area.
Well, I think it has to do with the amount of insurance plus the amount of younger aged people in that demographic that would pay into it. So that wouldn't be Florida. So what would be? I would say probably
one of them. I'm shocked by, the other 4 not so much.
What are they, Paul?
New Jersey.
Jersey.
Health care costs went down 2.9%.
Probably maybe California or Texas.
New York. Healthcare costs went down 28.8%.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Ohio. Healthcare costs went down 1.6%.
Minimal. Okay.
Rhode Island. Healthcare costs went down 28.1%.
Wow.
Oh, where all the rich people live.
That's right. Do you know that Rhode Island is not really an island? Shocker. Okay, go ahead.
So let's take a look at some of the...
What's the 5th one?
Oh, this one is the one that surprised me. Colorado. Yeah, went down 30.1%.
Wow.
Yeah. So
but let me, doesn't that alarm you in the sense that what's the give me a couple, are there states that are seeing increases in 30-something%, or are they all kind of single digits?
No. Try Arizona, increased 156.7%. Wow. Arkansas, 171.4%. Delaware, 99.9% increase.
But why is that? Why would we see such a big cut from one state and a big increase in the other?
That is the one thing I've been trying to track down all day.
Does that mean that insurance was insanely cheap in Arizona before this happened, and then it went up? And does that mean that,
let me give
that
you
insurance in New Jersey was really high and now it went down?
Let's look at Georgia, Atlanta, right? Very large population center. Mm-hmm. Okay. $98.12 was the cost before the exchange for an adult the age of 27. Okay. The cost after Obamacare implementation goes up to $263.28.
That doesn't make
now,
sense.
Did you know too? We just had that union strike that was averted.
Yeah.
You know why that almost happened?
It had something to do with their health care plans, right?
Oh, it was because of Obamacare.
Was it?
Yeah, because the grocery stores were going to cut hours and do all this funky stuff to drop people's
I just found this. So let me read this to you. This is off of CNN, and I know that people believe that CNN's a little left-leaning, but I'm going to read this anyway. This is off of CNN. It was dated September 27th, so it's been out for a little bit. Fact checked. Employers are not cutting back workers' hours because of Obamacare. The assertion is that
Check. Let me show you. I'm going to send you something.
Okay, I'm just going to read this. I want to give an opposing viewpoint. I don't know if it's right or not. I'm just giving the opposing viewpoint.
You're just reading what's in front of you.
Let you guys decide what you want to. The assertion Obamacare is not causing an increase in part-time employment. There were many people who speculated when this law came into place it would add to the cost and there would be a lot more part-time workers instead of full-time workers. So far, that's not true. There has not been an increase in the percentage of our employment in part-time work, according to former President Bill Clinton. Here are the facts, according to CNN from this website, from their website dated September 22nd. Obamacare requires that in businesses that employ at least 50 full-time employees, defined as those working at least 30 hours a week, that they provide workers with health insurance. As a result, critics say companies have responded by downsizing below 50 workers and cutting shifts below 30 hours. There's a chart on here using Bureau of Labor Statistics data that shows full-time workers in red has dropped while the share of part-timers has risen. They make up a greater proportion of the American workforce. This change happened during the recession in 2009. However, the change is very slight. But is it because of Obamacare? Who knows? Meanwhile, the data
that's a key statement, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole purpose of the article was showing that it wasn't because of Obamacare, and then it really got right down to it. They said, actually, who knows?
There's a lot of anecdotal evidence that this might be happening, but looking at the average weekly hours in the industries most likely to be affected, there is little evidence of a significant change. Sure, average weekly shifts at retail bakeries has tanked below 30 hours, but that's not been the case for grocery stores or restaurants or retail clothing shops, according to the graphs using BLS data. Here's the verdict, according to CNN. Clinton's statement is false. He is saying definitely that it isn't true that there has been an increase in the percentage of workers who are part-time employees. There has been, though the change appears to be slight. Also, it is difficult to say with complete assurance that this is the result of Obamacare. Moreover, the requirement that employers provide health insurance has been delayed until 2015. So we may get a clearer picture when we get close to the deadline. So basically, according to CNN, they're seeing some fluctuations. It's very slight, according to CNN's numbers back in September. But they have a really valid point. Some of this we're not going to see until we get to 15. Mm-hmm. Some of these employers are going to leave stuff alone when they get through the holiday season in 14 or 13 and 14 before they really start to make a change.
Well, and it's very probable that part of the reason they chose to roll this out the 1st of October was so that you wouldn't see employers dropping people off the doles because of the holiday season coming up. Now,
God, the holiday season is going to be sick.
You were asking, and I think I might be onto something here with regards to why those 5 particular states their costs went down. Mm-hmm. They were also the 5 states with the highest premiums by far. New York, $500 was their average
for
premium.
A single 27-year-old.
Yeah. So, and that's by far the largest. Followed by Rhode Island at $285. New Jersey, $329, and Colorado at $275. So they were like the 5.
So they were the 5 highest. So they had nowhere to go but down just to even themselves out.
Can I tell you guys something?
Yes.
I looked at the Washington's Health Exchange.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I can tell you that my cost right now for myself and my 2 children, I pay $190 a month. My company pays the rest of it. For myself to get health insurance through Obamacare for a very similar plan to what I have now is almost $400 a month just for myself.
On the exchange?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah. No,
that's
listen.
That's not affordable health care, because when you look at those other plans, the one thing a lot of people don't realize, you have a deductible you have to hit before they cover
$5,000 deductible.
anything.
Yep. Yeah. $5,000 deductible.
And if you have a family and you need help with medication, you have to hit that deductible for your entire family before they will pay for your medication, before they'll even start helping.
Yeah. Now let's take a look at a couple of these other states. These numbers may really freaking floor you as they did me. And I'm going to read you off the states that are red.
Can I tell you something? I wanted to research. So I went to the healthcare.gov site. I went to Washington to enroll just to see what I needed to do to enroll.
Yeah, it's down.
I went to and it says Washington Health Plan Finder is temporary unavailable. We are steadfast in our commitment to provide a positive customer experience.
Yeah.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
And then it says it in Spanish.
Let's look at the states with the highest percentage of increase. Arizona, 156%. Arkansas, 171%. Georgia, 168.3%. Illinois, 114%. Kansas, 129%. Louisiana, 106%. Michigan, 118%. Wow. I'm only giving you the states right now that have over 100% increase, okay? North Dakota, 113%.
What was the cost for North Dakota for a 27-year-old man before?
Sure, I'll give it to you. Let's see, North Dakota.
I'm just curious.
$116 a month.
What does it go to now? $250 or so?
$247.
Yeah. See how good I am at math?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's It's.
Oh, there's a couple more. Texas, 100% increase. Vermont, 144% increase.
Wow.
And the kicker, the biggest one of them all, Virginia, 252% increase.
What? Okay, what were they before?
$165 before, $581.55 now.
But see, that doesn't make any sense to me. And here's why I don't get the numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we basically said New York was too high at 581%, so we're going to drop them down by 30%.
Mm-hmm.
And then Virginia, which is not that far away from New York, we basically said, okay, you're going to pay triple more than triple what you were paying before.
Yeah. Now they put a caveat here on Virginia. They said Virginia figures are as reported. However, they believe that there are errors in their reporting system.
Well,
but the numbers as they've come out of that site, that's how they are reported. So they're saying, we think that there are errors here within the site itself, but we're not going to give you erroneous information, so these are the numbers that are coming out of that site.
It just doesn't make sense to me where the numbers are coming from. And listen, with the amount of money that you're paying for insurance.
Here's where the numbers are coming from, because actually every single state and healthcare.gov have refused to release any numbers. So the way that these agencies like heritage.org have gone out and got the information is they've had people enroll.
Right.
And that's how they've been able to carry out these numbers. And a lot of people, they're committing fraud. No, you know what? They're trying to get the information. They're trying to have some degree of transparency. They're trying to go out. I mean, it's no different than CNN's. In the middle of a broadcast, they'll have a reporter sit there and say, "Yeah, well, I couldn't get onto the site for New Jersey, so I went ahead and went to the Texas website and tried to enroll there." Blah blah blah. I mean, and they're doing it all over the news. Yeah.
Would you rather have the Obamacare the way it is now, or a one-payer system?
Well, I think and this is something that needs to be very clearly defined, because this is something I pointed out to Dawn last week, was we don't have socialized medicine yet. That's not what we're doing.
No, I'm aware of that.
This is socialized insurance as it's being set up. Now, you're talking about a single-payer system.
Yeah.
Where everybody pays, say, an extra 5% of their income in taxes.
Yeah.
And you never get a medical bill.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Oh,
I'm too.
There's a difference in that and this. There's a difference in, but see, that would never work here in this country, because, and this might sound like a strange way to loop this, but it'll never work in this country because people spend too much money to go to college to get a degree as a doctor. And then who determines how much those doctors get paid? Well, it's by procedure, by company that they work. It's a free market enterprise.
Actually,
you can't take it. You can't go from a free market enterprise to making these doctors be on the government payroll. It never work here.
They don't actually technically have to be on the government payroll, but when you look at a company like,
if you were going to go that way, they would have to be.
No, they don't. They actually, the other way, the government can contract out the insurance stuff to private insurance.
Well, you're talking about a group health style system. That's what Affordable Care Act is modeled after.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah, yes, it actually very is. It's modeled after the group health care system.
No, it is not. Because
what do you think the differences are?
Obamacare is not. You can say it's modeled after group health.
Yes, I can, because I read the article that stated it was modeled after group health.
It's not, though. All it is the system to make it. It's an Affordable Care Act to allow people to supposedly get cheaper insurance. That's not
what group
modeled
health
after
is.
group health.
You can call up group health and say, "I'd like to buy a group health membership." It's exactly the same thing. You go into a pool of all these other people that have group health memberships. It's like buying a membership at Costco for your health care.
Yeah, but they have so many other insurance. It's not. Well, okay, I'll get off the modeling thing.
Right.
That's
but I think you've got a point, because I don't think that there has to be a Obamacare or social medicine. Could there be a way, in my naiveness, to do in the middle, which is you increase tax amounts. So let's say you charge an extra 10% of every single paycheck, and then the government just handles the insurance end of it. You don't change how the doctors are. You still leave them as private doctors.
Actually, if they wanted to truly model something after group health, doctors wouldn't be making money per surgery. They would be salary based. and that would be it. It would be done. They would just get paid their yearly salary from the government, however you want to do it.
Yeah, but then they'd be government employees, though. And what I'm saying is,
well, no, but they don't have to be a government employee. You know,
yeah, and that's part of the problem. I can't have my doctor be a government employee.
Right, but what I'm saying is you leave them private citizens, you leave them not employed by the government. You leave everything about the medical profession as it is, although you have some tort reform. Okay, you've got to have tort reform and malpractices and all that, and in the legal and the suing and all that. So you got to fix that, but you leave them as individual. You basically put the government in the position of, we charge everybody an extra 10% of their wages in taxes to go into a medical fund, and then all the payments are made directly to medical companies through billing. And then you omit you paying anything. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you would be on the hook for anything that was not medically relevant, not anything that was not important, anything that was what's the word I'm looking for?
Not an emergency.
No, not but anything that's
a boob job.
Yeah, a boob. Anything that's not medically necessary. There's a word I'm looking for. Although I could stand to get mine smaller. And then you also put anybody on the hook for fraud. Okay. So if you lie or you whatever, then you put them on the hook for fraud or whatever. But everything else would be, just take 10% more out of my wages, 10% more out of what I earn. It goes to the government into a fund, then the government cuts the checks. Wouldn't that be simpler than all this horse crap that we're dealing with?
As long as you don't have bureaucrats deciding what procedure you can have and which procedure you can't.
That's why this is
between
perfect.
You and your doctor.
That's why this is perfect, because the doctors are not government employees. The doctors will determine what is medically relevant.
Sure.
But the doctors are on the hook, right? So if you've got a doctor who's doing if Paul's doctor decides, well, Paul, you don't really need that nose job, but we're going to figure out a way to fudge this paperwork, and then he gets audited and then finds out that they were doing BS things, then you make the doctor imprisonment and fines and whatever up the wazoo because he basically committed fraud. That's how you get around that, and you keep the government out of your medical care because you're letting the doctors decide what they're doing now. And wouldn't that be the easiest way to do this?
I don't know.
Would you pay 10% more in taxes to have all your medical covered?
For whatever procedure I needed, yes.
That was medically necessary.
I've been through this too much with my dad over the last several years to know that there's too much bureaucracy within the healthcare system right now, and I don't have an answer for that.
However, you've also seen what I've gone through, and I only owe $250 right now.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. We'll talk about this more after the break.
We're going to talk about him after the break.
And
we've got football breaks.
And we got football picks at the bottom of the hour.
Picks.
And we'll tell you who the new leader was after this week. Not just for the week, not overall. I still lead overall because I'm that good. Stay tuned.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Jim Hawk. Jury selection for the most high-profile criminal trial to be held in Britain in years begins tomorrow. Former top executives from Rupert Murdoch's News Corp face charges in connection with alleged phone hacking at the News of the World tabloid. From London, NPR's Philip Reeves reports.
This trial potentially offers a rare insight into Murdoch's empire and the lives of Britain's top politicians. The 8 defendants include Rebecca Brooks, former head of News Corp's UK operations, who was close to Murdoch, and also a friend of Prime Minister David Cameron. Before the scandal broke, Brooks was one of Britain's most powerful women. She faces charges that include phone hacking and alleged corrupt payments to public officials. Her co-defendants include her husband Charlie, a racehorse trainer, and Andy Coulson, a former News of the World editor who served as Cameron's communications chief for several years. All the defendants deny the charges. Philip Reeves, NPR News, London.
Calling a storm one of the worst in years, forecasters say driving rains and winds of up to 80 miles an hour are lashing Britain. Officials expect widespread disruptions for morning commuters. Railways and airports have canceled many services. Some members of Congress are calling for an extension of the time in which people can sign up for the new healthcare exchanges, given the problems experienced by the federal website. Democratic Senator Jeanne Shaheen told CBS's Face the Nation.
The rollout has been a disaster, and so what I'm proposing is that we extend the period in which people can enroll so we can make sure we get as many people who want health insurance able to enroll and be able to be covered.
On Wednesday, Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius testifies before the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Hawaii's governor is calling state lawmakers into a special session on Monday. NPR's Nathan Rott reports they'll consider a bill that would allow marriage rights to same-sex couples.
The same-sex marriage debate is nothing new to Hawaii. In 1990, a gay couple that applied for a marriage license there helped start the national debate that resulted in the Defense of Marriage Act, a law that was struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court earlier this year. Proponents for same-sex marriage, including Hawaii Governor Neil Abercrombie, are trying to ride that national momentum, pushing for legislation that would make Hawaii the 15th state to legalize gay marriage. They argue that the bill extends the state's aloha spirit of equality and that it would spur tourism. Opponents of the bill have organized protests, saying that Hawaiian voters should decide, not the state's lawmakers.
The timeout that
Nathan Rott,
Detroit called with
NPR
2:20
News.
left to go was
Except for his 1972 hit Walk on the Wild Side, Lou Reed never approached the commercial success of such contemporaries as the Beatles and Bob Dylan. Reed's literary agent says the legendary musician died Sunday morning in Southampton, New York, of an ailment related to a recent liver transplant. Reed was 71. You're listening to NPR News in Washington.
They did straight runs up the middle. They didn't even
In Egypt,
try.
security officials say that the man responsible for a bombing in Cairo last month is a former military officer. Merritt Kennedy in Cairo reports the attack was an attempt to assassinate Egypt's Minister of Interior.
Security sources say the army dismissed the alleged bomber in 2005 because of his extremist views. A jihadist group called Ansar Beit al-Maqdis also pinned responsibility on the ex-army officer in a video released earlier this week. The video, published on militant websites, glorifies the bombing as a victory for Islam. The bomb injured 21 people and killed the attacker. This was the first assassination attempt against a member of the interim government, though there have been regular assaults on security forces in the Sinai Peninsula by militant groups. These escalated after a massive security crackdown in mid-August that killed hundreds of supporters of ousted President Mohamed Morsi. For NPR News, I'm Merritt Kennedy in Cairo.
Israel has agreed to release 26 long-serving Palestinian prisoners as part of a U.S. brokered deal that led to the resumption of Mideast peace talks. The cabinet vote sets into motion the second leg of prisoner releases agreed upon before Israel and the Palestinians renewed peace negotiations in August. At the same time, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is planning on approving new settlement construction to appease hardliners who oppose the release. The prankster comedy Bad Grandpa tops the weekend box office, sinking three-week champ Gravity to second place. The high seas thriller Captain Phillips held on to third place. The Counselor, a gritty drama with an all-star cast, debuted in fourth place. And Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 was fifth. I'm Jim Hawk, NPR News in Washington.
We're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about Stop.
Hi, this is Stephen Gardner from the Kitsap Sun. There are three things we try to do on the Kitsap Caucus blog. Give you more about the story that didn't fit in the regular piece. Give you the story behind the story. We also try to draw attention to other news you might have missed. And sometimes, I like to poke fun at Fort Orchard. Read the Kitsap Caucus blog at thekitsapsun.com.
What did he do?
Make a difference in your community and volunteer at Kitsap Humane Society. We have opportunities for everyone and need help in all areas of the shelter. You can clean, feed, and help socialize animals or answer phones, greet customers, and help run special events and fundraisers. KHS volunteers also lead programs including our foster program, canine training, and animal-assisted therapy. If you are interested in volunteering at Kitsap Humane Society, visit our website at kitsap-humane.org.
I'm Elaine Turso with Elaine Turso Photography. I've partnered with Ish Vintage Clothing, the Oxford Suites, and Parties by a Perfect Place to create our unique boudoir, glam, and pinup parties, which is perfect for a girls' night out or bachelorette parties. You choose your theme, get your hair and makeup done, play dress up for the evening, and then receive an accordion booklet of your photos, plus an 8x10 of your favorite photo. For parties or 7 or more, the hostess is free. For more information about our unique parties, visit my website, ElaineTursoPhotography.com.
Located 3520 Kitsap Way in Bremerton, Arnold's Home Furnishing has been serving the Kitsap County community since 1951. For nearly 60 years, Arnold's has been here taking care of its customers with excellent customer service and quality merchandise you'll find nowhere else. And visit arnoldshomefurnishing.com to view all the merchandise available and see their current promotions. Arnold's Home Furnishing, to fit every lifestyle and budget.
What hour is he on, Des?
The phone lines are open. Call now, 253-617-1440.
253-617-1440. The Outlaw Radio Network returns after this.
Getting married, entertaining clients, or maybe you're just having a bash with your friends. No matter the occasion, make sure you plug into the tunes with E&M Entertainment. There are tons of DJs out there, but how many of them want to get to know you beforehand so they can play your soundtrack at your event at your kind of price? It's more than just a great selection. E&M plays your great selection, and that makes all the difference. So call 425-971-8078. That's 425-971-8078 for E&M Entertainment.
Hi, this is the Outlaw Radio Network. Heading into the third hour. St. Paul, the voice of reason.
K-Dog, the loose cannon.
Chojo joining us in studio.
Waka Waka. This one's for Africa, brother.
What's up, buddy?
Wow. I'm trying to make you feel better.
I'm in the middle of making a promo for the last call that is all about you, man. It is outstanding.
Oh, it's going to be great. I know that's going to be absolutely
sitcom bombs. Yeah. Good job last week.
Hey, I'd really like to do Maggie Simpson.
We'll talk about that in the next hour. Hey, listen.
Don't look at me, man.
Before we get into what we want to talk about, I just wanted to say this really quick.
I didn't mean it.
If you really want to get a good sandwich, like a good deli kind of sub sandwich, get it from Safeway. They have the best sandwiches. But they have this special at Safeway, which basically says if they don't make it in 3 minutes, it's free. And I could have gotten my sandwich for free. If I'd had said it, because it took the guy like 10 minutes to do it. I don't know if it's smart on Safeway's part to put the developmentally disabled guy behind the sandwich counter and then expect him to make a sandwich in 3 minutes.
Seriously just go there?
No, I'm just saying.
Wow.
To put him there and then say he has to make it in 3 minutes, I don't think that's fair to him. Because the people are going to be like, oh, it took you longer than 3 minutes and make him feel bad about it. It just doesn't make any sense.
Wait, who does that?
Safeway.
If they don't make it in under 3 minutes,
3 minutes, it's free.
Really?
No, I could have gotten it for free. I didn't do it
Where
because I
do
didn't
they
want to make
post
him.
that at?
It's on the window.
Really?
Like on the deli window, right at Safeway.
I've been missing something.
It says 3 minutes or it's free, and I could have gotten this one for free.
My God!
I think it sucks. No, I think it sucks. You're going to put a guy who's if he's developmentally disabled, he's got probably a little frail of an ego anyway.
When did they start that though?
I don't know. It was on the window today. I don't normally buy sandwiches from him. I'm just saying, you put a guy who's developmentally disabled back there. He's never going to make the 3 minute ticket time, and then people are all day are going to be telling him, "Give it to me for free." They're going to make him feel bad.
Hey, you know what? Unfortunately, that's an oversight on Safeway's part.
That is an oversight on Safeway's part, but it's irresponsible.
Look, they don't want to put the disclaimer up there. Okay.
Can I just point this out?
Irresponsible. I had to explain to him what yellow mustard was.
It is damn humorous to hear the Cowboys fan talk about what'd you call it? What'd you say? An oversight?
You know what? You know what? We're not going to even go into sports.
I had to explain to the guy what yellow mustard was.
It's not sports time, damn it.
Listen to me. I had to tell him what yellow mustard was. He did not know what yellow mustard was.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Come on. Don't set people up to fail.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's great that they hire him, but don't set people up to fail. Come on now.
But you know what? In this Sue Happy world and Sue Happy economy that we have, maybe you should go back in there and complain and say, hey, you know what? I'm suing y'all for putting this guy back here, and y'all know that I'm sure.
I don't think I have grounds to sue him. I think he might have grounds to sue him for putting him in his spot and setting him up to fail. But
everybody finds a way to find a way to get money out of somebody somehow.
You don't set people up to fail.
Exactly.
It's like when you get a 16-year-old girl out of high school, she's never worked before, and you put her in the drive-thru and expect her to deal with pissed off people at McDonald's. Don't set people up to fail. Just don't do it. It's not like Safeway doesn't make a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, they do.
Stop it.
Well, then again,
put people in positions to succeed.
They narrowly avoided a strike, so.
Well, yeah, but listen, a good boss puts his people in positions to succeed. Right. Okay, you see it every time when you watch football, right? Mm-hmm. You put the right people in, and you set them up in situations to succeed.
Except in Dallas.
And that's
all I got to say
about
that.
We're going to get
we'll
to
talk
that
about that next hour.
Now
let's Des Bryant being a baby, man. That was we'll talk about that later. Okay, go ahead.
Listen,
Paul.
we got some serious things to talk about here and
right.
about what's coming up on next week's show.
Now I'm excited for this.
Not serious?
What?
America's team's not.
No,
serious?
they're a joke right now.
A laughing joke. I'm even laughing at them.
They're a joke.
Ridiculous.
So some serious stuff about next week's shows and next week's show. Okay, first of all, I don't want y'all to laugh. This is not a funny thing. This is very serious.
And what's the next thing?
He tells us not to laugh. I just have to laugh. Okay,
You have
what's
to
up?
laugh. Strip.
Oh, this. Okay,
What
go
the
ahead.
hell? Where did this go? Hold on.
Did you lose your headphones?
Yeah. Go ahead, take it, Kevin. For a
All
second.
right. You want me to talk about this?
Yeah.
All right. So actually, I want
say
Strip to
take
tell
it.
people.
That means
Strip, why don't
take
you
it and
tell
run with
people
it.
what you're comfortable letting people know about? I think it would be better if you share to what level you want to share, and we'll
And
go
then
with it
we'll
from there.
then we'll tell what we're going to do as a result next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, jumped into an orangutan exhibit because a little kid fell in, and an orangutan ripped off half my face.
Yeah.
So if anybody sees me walking around town, I got this gnarly scar.
So in English,
Do you want to give people the real reason now?
Huh?
You want to tell people the truth now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That was the truth. Are you kidding me?
that does sound
What
better.
you said? It sounds better.
It does, right? Or a shark tried to eat me, and I narrowly escaped with my life. And
Yeah.
the salt water.
It
was
wouldn't
the only thing
explain
that-
what we're going to do. What we're going to do, though.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, simple. Back in July, I had a seizure. Led to me going in to have brain surgery.
Because
Because I had a tumor, a massive tumor about the size of a golf ball. Doing okay though, if you can't tell. So
well,
You're
doing
still your
okay
honorary
is
self, which we're
doing,
happy about.
First of all, doing okay is a relative term.
Because he's your relative.
Well, no, relative as in he's got a scar that's about 12 inches long across his head
Yeah,
in a semicircular motion, and because of the radiation and chemo, he's beginning to lose his hair.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin, you and I had dedicated, and I don't know that it's going to matter one iota to Tro.
I'm sure I can find some hair to shave.
Next week,
Great.
Next week, after the interview that we're about to tell you about here in a minute, we will be having our heads shaved live on air. Now, you already do it. Kevin did it for a long time, so it's
Yeah.
nothing new for either of you. Caleb is, well, indiscriminately apparently losing his whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, I don't have
Because
much
of the
of a
chemo.
choice.
He's going through chemo and radiation.
But for me, it will be something that I've never done before. So
Can we
all-
set the guidelines for this really quick? Are we when
What,
we
we're
say
getting our
shave?
heads shaved.
Hold on. When we say shave, are
Yeah.
we like buzzing them? Are we bicking them? To what level are we
just
shaving them?
buzzing them. That's all I'm doing.
Okay.
With mine. And although I can tell that it's thinning out where I'm losing my hair.
Who's gonna do the buzzing? We're gonna do them on the air next week. Who's gonna do the buzzing?
Yeah.
Do we have somebody to volunteer to do that? Can she be hot and
naked?
We can find somebody.
rubber women parts
Could she
up
be
against me while
naked?
she does it?
Be okay if she was naked.
No, she can't be naked. We're not.
Why
We're
not?
not that kind of show.
Well, we could be for that.
She could be in a bikini.
Yeah.
Hey, don't look. If you can find some girl that wants to be in a bikini.
Can we get one of your ex-girlfriends to do it?
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
no.
that I can.
We can call Georgia.
Whoa.
No.
Bum.
That wasn't even funny.
Whoa.
First of
Whoa.
all, I don't think we want to see that in a bikini.
Paul, I got it. Just for you.
Yeah.
We'll get Mindy in to do it for you.
No, you're not. No. Hold on. I can appreciate where he's
Didn't you
coming
call
from.
him Mindy? So
I was
basically
just
he's
gonna say. I was
volunteering.
gonna say, yeah, you're not cutting my hair. So
All right.
that's what's going on after the interview next week. Des, did you find
Adrian,
a
are you
going to
get your head shaved too with us next week?
Okay,
What?
Des.
Down?
Did you give Caleb an... Hold on. Everybody quiet for a second. Des, the producer, extraordinary...
No, the only clips she could find were not the stuff that we needed.
Just send him the intro for America Under.
There's no just intro.
Then find a clip of Scott Walters. There's a ton of them out there.
You want just a clip? I mean,
Yeah, just a
I
clip,
don't-
just to show who he is.
How about just a picture? I can do just a picture. That's easy.
Can you find like a clip of the
guys are
show and
terrible.
just put us?
You
put
went
it
from
in the show
great,
notes?
extraordinary producer to who the is that sitting over there behind the computer
See,
screen?
you are insensitive.
Wow.
No, in
Let's
her
do this. Let's just talk about who he is. So, who is Scott Walters? Tell people who Scott Walters is.
Scott Walters works for A&E and Channel and the History Channel. He premiered a show on December 21st of 2012. Funny date to pick. For the name of his most recent show called America Unearthed. The History Channel aired a 2-hour special in 2009 called The Holy Grail in America. And because of the success of that program, the same production company decided to pick him up and did an entire series with him. It actually became the highest watched series in the history of the History Channel at that point in time. And they aired it. The first episode was called American Mayan Secrets. Now, Scott... I got to pronounce his name right. It's Walters. Walters. Wolter. He's I can't even really tell you. I mean, I'm not finding any information about his credentials or anything like that. But I will tell you, if you've watched the show, go to the History Channel. He's an amazing show host. He does very fascinating things. He's all about the Templar and the hooked X. I don't know what there isn't a clip with just the intro. So what did you find, Des?
Clip? No clip?
So here's some of the things he's talked about.
It's hard for me. My computer is wigging out here. You see what my computer is doing?
All they have is like
it's all the porn.
Videos of like their whole entire episodes. They don't have any like short clips of episodes or anything
so
like that.
So you could play the beginning of a video with the intro.
Well, I asked him if he wanted to do that, but I can't hear him anyways, and he just said,
had
"Don't
a brain
worry about
tumor,
it."
so he's like.
Here's some of the things he's talked about, just to put this in perspective.
Go ahead.
He did one about the Holy Grail, where there's a belief that the Holy Grail may have actually come to North America and be located in a well that belongs to that's on the property of a rumored Templar prince. So that's one of the discussions he had. There was another one about the Newport Tower. I don't know. Do I know about the Newport Tower?
Yeah, it's a tower with specific alignments with the stars.
Is that the circular one that they believe also lines up with the Kensington Stone?
Correct.
And I do know about that then. Okay.
Yep. He talked about the mystery.
Are you
of
surprised
Roanoke.
you knew about that?
Yeah, very.
Okay.
He actually helped discover and wrote a book about the Knights Templar and the code that they used, and how their X's had a hook in them, which was what allowed you to always tell that it was a Templar code. And he's found that code in many places around America,
including the Kensington Stone.
Correct. And he's done so much fascinating stuff. Most of his stuff is about subjects that are kind of not. I don't want to say. I think a lot of people refer to it as alternative history.
Esoteric.
I just refer to it as unknown history. Stuff that's real, it's historic, but it's the kind of stuff that we never hear about. For example, giant bones being unearthed in America, the bones of humans that are 8 to 10 feet tall. He did a show about that. Doing a show about somebody mining massive amounts of copper in Lake Superior, but it was prehistoric. So whoever would have used that kind of copper in during the time period when this, it was just incredibly fascinating stuff you just never would have known about Roanoke, the lost colony at Roanoke.
One that interests me is maybe did Jefferson have kind of secondary reasons or hidden reasons for the Lewis and Clark expedition? That's one of the things that I mentioned on the website as well. So, alternate view of history, however you want to phrase it, unknown history. It'll be a really interesting interview. I don't ever know how to take. We've talked about this on the show before. I don't ever know how to take some of this stuff because, on the one hand, your logical brain says none of this could possibly be true. This guy is out on a limb all by himself, and he's about to fall into the creek. On the other hand, we know from human history, especially in this country, that there are tweaks and changes to history that are hidden throughout our history.
History
books.
gets written by the victor, right?
Yeah.
And so because it gets written by the victor, for example, if you read a lot of books written in the they don't make slavery sound that bad. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So
I know.
So it's it gets completely away from the reality of what it was like. It doesn't make it sound like they treated Native American. Hey, we were doing them a favor. I mean, we conquered them. We should have just killed them all and been done with it. Blah blah blah. But no, we were nice. We put them on reservations and let them live. So history is not what we are taught. And I think that's the big thing. That's why I respect Scott Walters so much, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this interview with him. It's going to be a great deal of fun. We're going to ask him about his new book that he's got coming out. We're going to talk to him about his new series that is coming out on the History Channel. And we're going to ask him, so you guys think about this, ask him about some of the greatest secrets in America and what he thinks about them and what the reality behind them really is. Because I'm going to ask him on his show, I'm sure on his show he is prevented from making some of his theories really well known.
Right.
So I'm going to ask him, because we don't believe in political correctness here. I'm going to ask him, I'm going to say, what do you really think was the truth behind the Kensington Stone? Do you think Templars really traveled that far? Not, well, maybe they did or didn't. I'm going to ask him, what do you think? So, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we encourage everybody to tune in. I think we're going to have him for an hour.
I spoke with a guy, and I may ask him about this. We may not get to it because I don't know how feasible it really is of a conversation. But I spoke with somebody last week who believes that not only were Templars here, it actually makes the Mormon religion more valid because they believe that maybe the gold tablets that Joseph Smith found were related to the Templars that came and all of that.
I've never heard that. I think you actually should ask him about that.
There's an interlink there. It's the first time I've ever heard it proposed to me.
I've never heard that, but
suddenly it makes sense, right? If you're going to validate the Mormon religion, which I'm not here to do because I'm not a Mormon, but if you're going to validate the Mormon religion, and you can connect that with. Because there's always been questions about
fascinating story to ask him.
How did the gold tablets get here? And then you establish, well, if the Templars
a 1,200-foot Jesus in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
No, that was Pat Robertson. But anyway, Oral Roberts. Sorry, that was Oral Roberts. It just, there's things like that throughout our history, and some of it is pretty far fetched, right? To me, the Templars being here would be very far fetched. I don't know if I would buy into that. But then you look at the Kensington Stone, and you look at what was the place called again that points to the Kensington Stone, the roundhouse?
Oh, you're talking about the. You're going to make me.
I was just there.
I had it too. The
Newport Tower, yeah. And you look at some of that stuff, and then everything starts to connect the dots, and it connects the dots. Not enough that makes me go, okay, the Templars are definitely here, but the sum of evidence begins to accumulate in a way that gives you a reasonable idea. Well, maybe that very well could have happened.
And I'm going to this is going to be kind of cool. You guys might dig this. I'm going to lay out there to him an offer that if he's ever in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Washington, Idaho area, investigating one of these things, to call us and let us come do the show with him. Or let us come be on the show with him. Kevin's looking at me like
I would do that in a heartbeat just to have my beautiful face on the TV, because then Mandy Moore can discover me.
Yeah, no.
Someone might discover you.
Anyway, again, I just think the man is so fascinating. The stories that he attacks are so fascinating. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I'm just listening to you.
Oh, we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And if you, a listener, has something specific that you would like to ask him about, feel free to post to our page and have some questions that you would like us to ask him. So you know that we love to do that. I mean, we had plenty of fun with that with the mayor and Todd Best.
We did, yeah.
So, yeah. So anyway, all right. So there we go. Scott Walters next week. Yes,
next week at 8:00. By the way, we'll have him start the 8:00 hour.
Yeah.
I wonder if him and the ex-wrestler ever hang out with each other.
Ventura?
Ventura.
There's a rumor floating around that Ventura is considering running for president.
Please let it be a rumor.
Oh my God.
Listen,
which is why he's put a lot of his TV projects on hold. He wants to distance himself from some of that alternate stuff for the time being.
Listen, can I be honest with you? I've watched every single episode that he did on the conspiracy theory. Have you seen any of his episodes?
I've seen some of them.
I've seen a few.
Some of them were much better than others. But I will tell you this: as an investigative journalist, he did a very good job of very plausibly investigating these stories. Hey, I'm going to go straight to you. I'm going to go straight to the source. I'm going to look you in the face. I'm going to ask you a question. It's hard to deny that he did a very good job with what he had set out to do. So
sure.
That's my take on it.
Here's my thought. I would like him to run.
So would I. I'd vote for him.
Yeah. Because
and we're getting into your topic now that you had.
I don't think you get any BS from him.
Well, yeah, and this gets into the one thing I wanted to bring up, and this will be a quick conversation. We're up in breaking about 5 minutes, but I think that people are feeling a need at this point to migrate. This may be the closest we've ever been ready for a third party, if it can emerge in this country. And now it's got to be a really enigmatic kind of guy, right? It would have to be a Reagan-esque or a Kennedy-esque type of personality, somebody that can really rally people and speak into people's imaginations and really get them behind a cause. I don't think you could take just anybody, but I think Ventura. I think Ventura could be that guy. Ventura could be the guy. Now, Ross Perot wasn't the guy in the 90s. No. But, and I don't think Palin's that one either, because Palin wouldn't be a true center, neutral party. She would just be a more extreme version of the right. You'd have to get a guy or a girl that is really enigmatic, that can really draw people and speak into them and really just get the imagination going of what they can accomplish.
I don't think you could find any woman that could do that. No offense to the woman.
You don't think so?
There. No, at least not any woman that is already in some kind of politician state or position.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a woman off the top of my head. I don't
exactly. See?
I don't think it's, but I don't think it's impossible. I mean, I think that before Obama, people would have said we were still 20, 30 years away from having a black president until the right guy came along.
Hey, how old do you have to be to run for president?
35.
Okay, let's nominate you.
Me?
Yeah. Let's put a campaign together.
I'm the wrong guy.
Why?
I'm the wrong guy.
You make 6 figures a year.
Yeah, I'm the wrong guy.
The worst thing you're going to get in trouble for is sleeping with somebody you work with. I mean, come on. You'd be good.
I'll tell you why I'm the wrong guy.
And you won't lie about it.
I'll tell you why I'm the wrong guy, because you still have to have a level of political correctness in what you say when you run, and I wouldn't do it. I would.
Then Jesse Ventura wouldn't be
if
the correct
something's
guy
fucked,
either.
I'll say it's fucked, and I'll just. I mean, now that might work.
But ladies and gentlemen, the president of the United
States. No, that's
States.
fine. Let's start a campaign. We'll start a YouTube campaign. We'll start pushing it. That's fine. Paul and I for president. That's fine.
Hey,
or Paul for president and I for vice president.
What is this, ancient Rome now? What are we going to have a triumvirate next? What do you mean, Paul and I for president?
Okay, that's fine. I'll be president. Trojo can be vice president.
Fine.
I'd run with you.
I'll be the secretary of state.
Oh my God! You know what we should do? No, we should have an Outlaw Radio Network primary.
We don't have enough listeners.
No, we'll let people vote for a year, right? Who do you want to run for president from Outlaw Radio? K-Dog or Paul? And then when we do that, then we'll have a winner, and then that winner will get pushed on all of our media platforms running for president, and then they can name whoever their running mate would be. Can we make that happen? Can we do that on the website?
Yeah, we could do something like that, sure.
I don't think that's a good
I think it's because you'll get your ass handed to you.
It's just not a good
you'll get your ass handed to you.
No, not saying
I got game. I got game. Anyway,
saying I don't think that's a good idea.
So anyway, I just do you guys agree? Is this a time for a third party to merge?
It has been. 2-party system should have been dropped a long time ago. But shouldn't have Democrats and Republicans. It's useless.
But nothing's ever picked up though. I mean, there's a centralized like a middle of the ground third party has never picked up steam.
Well, you're wrong.
Ross Perot in the 90s was really the closest we came.
Tea
and
Party.
Ross Perot, but again, no, I'm talking a central kind of a middle of the ground, somewhere in between Democrats and Republicans. Tea Party is past standard conservatives. It's all the way over.
Yeah, but it's a.
I think if you had a true, almost libertarian party, but you couldn't call it a libertarian because nobody assumes what a libertarian is. But if you had a true middle of the road party that preached what I believe is fiscal responsibility, stays away from the social issues, right? Has a little more of a kindler, gentler heart towards gays and lesbians, immigration, and social entitlement programs, and you could find a way to make that work in more of a middle ground kind of way. Is this the time that would actually pick up speed?
I think with the immigration, it's not necessarily about being kinder. It's about being right in the way that the laws that they put out there for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not necessarily kinder, not necessarily harsher, but finding something that works better.
There's a huge amount of Democrats, a huge amount of people like me who vote Democrat purely because the conservative agenda is to demonize and demoralize minorities and gays and lesbians. And I would be much more likely to vote conservative if I wasn't voting against the evil in the conservative party that wants to paint every gay and lesbian as a sinner going to hell. Hold on, stop that for a second. As a sinner going to hell, I was in the middle of a point, I'm sorry. As a sinner going to hell, and every single immigrant that's here illegally as Satan and here to run drugs. And if and again, I'm not saying that we caveat them all, but I would be much more likely to vote Republican if some of these social issues were just off the table.
Well, that's why I think that the Tea Party... Listen, the truth of the matter here is very simple. The Tea Party is pretty much... First of all, the Tea Party is a conglomerate of people with no political affiliation who all have the same values, and those values are just with regards to politics, in the sense that taxed enough already, okay, means we need to revert to a style of government which keeps the government out of the bedroom and out of the boardroom, keeps taxes down, and we take social issues off of the table. You don't hear Tea Party people out talking social issues.
I thought
talking
some of the
abortion
Tea Parties,
or gay marriage.
I
No.
thought some of the Tea Party people were pretty anti-gay marriage.
Well, some of them are.
Okay.
But
it's not a stance within the group as a whole?
No, at all, not at all. In fact, listen, again, I try to tell you time and time again, you don't realize, I think, how much you agree with the Tea Party. Their firm belief, their number one thing is fiscal responsibility.
Sure.
That's why they're out there doing the things they do, saying the things that they say.
Yep, except for the fact that they shut down the government, which,
Again, that had to do with fiscal responsibility.
Well,
it's not.
hold on. He's right. In their view, it was fiscal responsibility.
No, I understand that.
I just totally believe that you could obtain fiscal responsibility, still have Obamacare, still have a modicum of a nationalized health plan out there, and fix your spending in other places.
Now, I'm not saying
to
you're
balance
wrong.
the number out.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the Tea Party was wrong.
I'm not saying that you are wrong with that idea. What I'm saying, though, is that desperate times deserve desperate measures, and you have an entire group of individuals that reflect or believe the same things that the Tea Party does with regards to being taxed enough already.
Right.
And so they said, enough is enough. You got to draw the line in the sand somewhere. That's, and we'll leave it at that. So we got football coming up next.
Football picks are next. Outlaw Radio Network. Trojo, you've been very quiet. I know you've been quiet. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Stephen Gardner from the Kitsap Sun. There are 3 things we try to do on the Kitsap Caucus blog. Give you more about the story that didn't fit in the regular piece. Give you the story behind the story. We also try to draw attention to other news you might have missed. And sometimes, I like to poke fun at Port Orchard. Read the Kitsap Caucus blog at thekitsapsun.com.
Make a difference in your community and volunteer at Kitsap Humane Society. We have opportunities for everyone and need help in all areas of the shelter. You can clean, feed, and help socialize animals or answer phones, greet customers, and help run special events and fundraisers. KHS volunteers also lead programs including our foster program, canine training, and animal-assisted therapy. If you are interested in volunteering at Kitsap Humane Society, visit our website at kitsap-humane.org.
I'm Elaine Terso with Elaine Terso Photography. I've partnered with Ish Vintage Clothing, the Oxford Suites, and Parties by a Perfect Place to create our unique boudoir, glam, and pinup parties, which is perfect for a girls' night out or bachelorette parties. You choose your theme, get your hair and makeup done, play dress up for the evening, and then receive an accordion booklet of your photos, plus an 8x10 of your favorite photo. For parties or 7 or more, the hostess is free. For more information about our unique parties, visit my website, ElaineTersophotography.com.
Located 3520 Kitsap Way in Bremerton, Arnold's Home Furnishing has been serving the Kitsap County community since 1951. For nearly 60 years, Arnold's has been here taking care of its customers with excellent customer service and quality merchandise you'll find nowhere else. And visit arnoldshomefurnishing.com to view all the merchandise available and see their current promotions. Arnold's Home Furnishing, to fit every lifestyle and budget.
The phone lines are open. Call now, 253-617-1440, 253-617-1440. The Outlaw Radio Network returns after this.
Getting married, entertaining clients, or maybe you're just having a bash with your friends. No matter the occasion, make sure you plug into the tunes with E&M Entertainment. There are tons of DJs out there, but how many of them want to get to know you beforehand so they can play your soundtrack at your event at your kind of price? It's more than just a great selection. E&M plays your great selection, and that makes all the difference. So call 425-971-8078. That's 425-971-8078 for E&M Entertainment.
Good evening. My name's Wayne. Some of you may have seen me before. I've been kicking around Hollywood a long time.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
Because I think it's the best thing of its kind that's come along. And I hope you'll agree with me. It's honest, it's adult, it's realistic.
All right, it's the Outlaw Radio Network as we go to the bottom half of the third hour, the final segment of the Outlaw Radio Network. The last call's around the corner. Hopefully tonight, Trojo will not make any sexual references to a baby, and we'll talk about that in the fourth hour. But thanks for checking out the show. Adrian has joined us in studio. What's up, buddy?
How much? How you doing, man?
Good, man. What's going on?
Not a whole lot right now.
Not a whole lot. Hey, let me ask you a question. Since you're a big Sonic guy, who's your favorite Sonic of all time? Do you have one?
It's easy to say Gary Payton.
Payton?
But I like Kevin Calabro, the announcer.
Yeah.
He's my favorite Sonics-related person.
Is he?
Yeah.
You ever met him?
Twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he cool in person?
Really cool guy. Actually, he's going to be at an event I'm going to on Friday night. Him, Slick Watts, Sean Kemp.
I didn't tell you this story last week. I met Slick Watts once.
Cool dude.
I was at the Oyster Bay Inn in Bremerton doing karaoke one night, and I guess Slick Watts owned or owns or whatever a janitorial company. Mm-hmm. And they go around and do cleanings and banks and stuff late night after the banks and stuff close. And him and all of his people were out of the Oyster Bay Inn one night doing karaoke, and there was Slick Watts. It was pretty cool.
Can I make a suggestion to you? Because I know you're looking at the idea of doing your own show.
Yeah.
You know what would be an awesome kickoff interview for you?
What's that?
Mr. Sonic.
You're referring to Nate McMillan?
Oh, no. I'm talking about the announcer.
Oh,
Casey.
Okay,
about Kevin Calabro.
I don't know if he was like Kevin Calabro.
Gary Payton there for a minute. Like, good luck with that one.
No, because Casey's been through the whole shebang. He's been through it all. I'm just saying that if you could talk to him and be like, hey, I'm going to start my own sports radio show, man. I'd love to have you as my first interview.
I'm not sure if Casey can come on because of his obligations to ESPN, but it wouldn't hurt to ask. Yeah,
I can ask. I'll talk. to
Doesn't
him
hurt to
Friday.
ask.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
So
tell him we're just on the internet.
He's the kind of guy that always seemed to me that would support something like that and say, dude, if I could help you out, I'd love to.
Yeah, he's a
be like,
really
hey,
cool
just
guy.
a 15-minute interview or something like that. It'd be freaking awesome for you. It'd be cool.
I'll run it by him Friday.
So yeah.
Worst he says is no.
Yeah, worst thing he can do, right?
Right.
Worst thing he can do is
tell
say
him
no.
we'll come over and wash his car.
Hey, you got to make this computer hot because I got to play all the NFL music. Can you do that for me, Des?
I still haven't got your computer.
I can attempt to do this.
My laptop does not work.
You what, Des?
I said I can attempt to do this.
All right.
I just got to figure out which one it is again. So go ahead and try playing it.
All right. This one's just for Kevin. Yeah, I'm hearing nothing, dear.
Oh, Riggins.
Keep trying.
Really
Come on,
quickly,
you're a woman. You
really
can't
quickly
tell
while
me
you're
you don't
doing
know how
that,
to
let me update how the scores went last week.
We know, if nothing else, you know how to push buttons, is what he's trying to say.
Nothing of the sort, you fellas know it. No man respects Alvin Garrett more than I do. I talked about that man's ability to be so elusive despite the smallness of size. You had him in the Pro Bowl in the first quarter. I don't know what they're listening to. Second down and 10.
They're talking about when Cosell called somebody a little monkey.
Yeah.
It's amazing that if you use the word monkey, right, in reference to a black guy, it's automatically that you meant it with racial overtones, even though I believe Cosell. I mean, Cosell's had been in sports for 40 years up to that point, and he basically got run out of the business because of it. So, whatever.
But what's funny is if you listen to a lot of Howard Cosell interviews, especially later on after he got to talking and became friends with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
He changed a lot of his views. A lot of his views. You got Howard Cosell was in.
No, you can keep going. Keep talking.
Yeah,
Just playing in the background.
why are you playing people talking? It throws us off.
Yeah.
It
Really-
throws you off. It doesn't throw me off.
I don't know.
I'm a total
Desiree agreed.
professional.
Trojo agreed. Adrian, do you agree?
What's that?
That it throws us off? Shut up.
See, he's
Adrian.
like, no. She's like,
All right, so here's your standings.
Headphones anyway.
I don't hear anything.
Here's what happened this week in the games, and Adrian should be ashamed of himself.
I am.
As all the games went down, Adrian came in last place. There was 14 possible points. Adrian picked up 8 in his first week in the pool. He better do better next week.
Welcome back. Excuse me. Welcome.
In
to the
fourth
pool.
place was Trojo, who was returned after winning last week, who was returned back to his familiar position of being under Paul and I. He got 10.
Did you really just...
Yes. Yes. Paul and I each got 11. Paul and I each got 11. Oh, by the way, this is all not with tomorrow night's game counted, but we all picked Seattle, so it's moot. And then the winner, we should all be disappointed. We should all really, really hang our heads. Because for the
I'm
first
pretty sure
time ever,
just Adrian should hang his head. I'm not
for the
sure
first
about
time
rest
ever,
of
a
us.
woman has beaten us in the picks. Of 14 possible games, Desiree got 12.
Okay.
The only one she missed was the Giants and the Eagles. And then the Seattle game tomorrow. So she could go 13-1. I don't know.
13 is my lucky number.
There's only been once that one of us picked completely perfect in the game once, and that was 2 seasons ago, and that was Paul.
Good job, Paul.
Yeah. So Desi beat all of us this week. That shall not ever happen again.
It probably won't.
It will not. No.
I'm just. Let's just get these pictures.
That was beginner's luck right there.
Here's your
We
standings.
need to turn Tro's mic up a little bit.
Yeah, turn Trojo's mic up a little bit. Here's your
A
standings.
white
by
woman
the way.
trying to keep a black man down.
Now here's the deal. As long as you guys pick 8 games, Desi and Adrian, we'll put you into this. And what I'll do is I'll figure out the average numbers of wins for all of us as we go, and then whoever's got the highest average number of wins will be the winner because you guys won't have the same number of weeks in. So we'll do it by average number of wins per week. But you got to get 8 weeks in, so don't be screwing off because there's only 8 weeks left.
8 weeks left.
8 weeks left after this.
I good to do math.
I'm just telling you.
I good to do math.
So here we go. In the lead right now.
Look at that, I did math.
Technically, it would be Des if she gets to 8 weeks, but she's got to get to 8 weeks first. Obama phone. So I'm still in the lead with 85 wins total. Paul sits 4 back. Trojo sits 11 back. And
just 1 week. Just 1 week. That's it.
Just 1 week. Yeah. You go perfect, and Paul and I completely go 0. So that's where things stand. Hey, let's get into our picks for week number 9. And we'll start off with the Thursday night game. As the you need to get a longer bump there, buddy.
Need to find some better music.
It's all the NFL Films music, and it's just one right after the other.
Okay. All right. So the week number 1 on Thursday, it's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals heading to Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins. The Bengals looked really, really good today, and the Dolphins looked really, really bad in the second half. I got to pick first, and I will pick the Bengals. I just think they're a much better team. I don't think Miami's that good. I don't think Ryan Tannehill is all that people think he's cracked up to be. Paul?
It's actually a tough pick.
That's why I picked it first, to give you the out.
They're at Miami, though. Got to go with the home team.
You go with Miami?
Yep.
All right. Trojo?
Wow, that is kind of somewhat of a tough pick.
I don't know why it's so tough. Cincy's 6-2,
right?
Dolphins
Cincinnati is
3-4.
6-2, but I mean, Miami's been playing some tough ball. But it's just they remind me of a certain team I won't name right now. They just can't seem to get over that hump. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with Cincy on it.
Cincy, all right. Dez,
hold on. You can't stand up in the middle of the show. Your body gets cut off.
I can still stand up for a second. I had to stretch. I had a cramp.
Should have done it during break.
Get off my back about it.
Dez.
Monkey.
Cincy at Miami.
I'll go with Cincy.
All right, Adrian, this isn't that hard of a pick, is it?
Damn underwear.
That's what I thought, too.
Creeping up my ass.
Seemed pretty simple.
Right, we're taking the advice of the guy who came in last place.
He knows his sports, man.
Quit living in the past.
He knows his sports.
I'm from Dallas, man. The past is all we got.
Yeah, that's all I do. The 90s.
Jesus. All right, so here we go. The Sunday games will start off. The Kansas City Chiefs head to Buffalo to take on the Bills. The Chiefs might be the biggest fake undefeated team I've ever seen in my life.
Dude,
the defense is for real. The offense
is for real.
The offense is just weird. Paul, you're picking first.
Who are they playing again?
They're at Buffalo. I know. If they were playing a real team, they're not going to win the whole season.
They're barely winning every game.
I know.
But they've held everybody under 17 or less points.
Well, I can't even say that. They haven't played anybody worth a shit. Right?
That's true.
Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
Every team in the NFL is decent on their own level.
Hold on.
Except for Jacksonville.
Let me say this.
But they have not played an A caliber team. You know what's gonna kill Kansas City is they play Denver 2 out of 3 weeks. In the next 4 weeks. So I think Kansas City they believe that they are good, and I think that because they believe they are that good, they are going to go in and they're going to win in Buffalo.
All right, fair enough. Jojo?
Hey, look, first and foremost, I'm going to have to just go ahead and disagree, and excuse me for disagreeing because I know what I know what everybody's about to say. It's the Cowboys.
Maggie
but
Simpson.
You know what? Despite the Dallas Cowboys record right now, they still have the number 4 scoring offense in the league.
Okay, we're not talking about Dallas right now.
Hold on. I know that. Which brings me to the point.
Oh my God.
Of Kansas City. Kansas City can definitely be a legitimate team, especially when it comes to the defense. So I would go with Kansas City on the basis of that. But Kansas City have played a team that.
So you're picking Kansas City?
Put up points, yeah.
All right, Desi?
He goes into a freaking Dallas explanation just to pick
I think he
KC.
picked Dallas. That's what I heard.
No.
Sorry, Stefan, but I'll go with the Chiefs as well.
All right, Adrian?
Buffalo.
Really? All right.
He sucks.
Hard to you.
Kansas City,
I know. No,
I would agree if they were playing a real team. Buffalo is just
weak.
horrible. They're weak. Their
special teams is not there.
No, their quarterback is learning. Their offensive line is horrible. Their defense isn't bad. Mario Williams is still a beast, but good God, man, that offense is crap.
And CJ Spiller's out.
All I envision, by the way, as we hear Trojo talk about the Dallas Cowboys, is that when D's not home, he's in the corner of his room with the lights off in the fetal position, masturbating. Dallas Cowboys, best offense, best defense. I love Tony Romo. All right.
Actually, I have that vision of you.
All right. Meanwhile,
Oh my God.
Trojo, you're going to pick first. The Minnesota Vikings travel to Dallas. Barney Rubble face. All right.
Dallas easily.
Vikings at the Cowboys.
Dallas easily.
Dez.
Vikings.
The Vikings
absolutely
have
suck.
lost 6, right? And they've won.
The Vikings are
One.
1-6. Cowboys 4-4.
I will go with the Cowboys.
Adrian,
what do you know?
Dallas.
all right. I'm going to go with Dallas as well. You know, Adrian Peterson in 7 games has 511 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That is, for the best running back on the planet, that is disgusting.
Best running back in a team that can't figure out who's playing quarterback from week to week.
People say that he's the greatest running back, and he might be. But when he has the quarterback, there is no quarterback really right now.
Really not.
There's no receivers, there's no offensive line. If you have defense, you load the box up. There's nowhere for AP to go. If he breaks a tackle, he'll have a good game.
In fact,
do you
know who's on the trading block as of today? NFL.com?
Larry Fitzgerald.
No. Well, yes, Larry Fitzgerald is one I think maybe on the trading block. But Jared Allen.
Yeah, Jared Allen from Minnesota.
On the trading block as well. So, listen, I think it's a retooling, rebuilding time right now for Minnesota. I don't think they have any shot whatsoever. And unfortunately, while it pains me to say this, this week, Dallas may not coug it completely.
You think Dallas wins?
Barely.
All right, fair enough. All right, Dez, you're going to pick
21-17.
The Tennessee Titans travel to St. Louis to take on the Rams. The Rams will have the short week. They play tomorrow against Seattle, and Tennessee had the bye week, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare.
I'll go with the Rams because that's at home.
Really?
All right, well.
Okay.
There's further proof you won't have a perfect week next week. Adrian?
I go with Jake Locker and the Titans.
Good pick. Let me explain this. I always have to justify my picks. Things in St. Louis are so bad. They tried to call Brett Favre out of retirement this
really
week.
tried to call Brett Favre out of retirement.
And Brett Favre said, I'll play quarterback only if I can wear my Wranglers. The deal is here.
Dude, you're missing a really serious part of that equation, aren't you?
Kellen Clemens.
Hold on.
Yeah, what's the equation?
As the guys on NFL.com reported, they actually received a top secret copy of all of the quarterbacks that the Rams called.
Yeah.
It started with Brett Favre and then moved on to Kurt Warner. And when he said no, they called Terry Bradshaw, who said no. They then called Keanu Reeves, who said, dude, it was a fucking movie.
That would sell some jerseys.
And then they said, no, we aren't going to call Tim Tebow. So, listen, they're in bad shape in Ramsville, man.
Adrian, I really think that somebody needs to give Tebow a flyer. I mean, somebody needs to give him a chance. St. Louis seems like the perfect situation. They're a team that's going nowhere quick.
St. Louis and Jacksonville, and
they're not even going anywhere slow.
At this point, I would even say Tampa Bay. Give
one of them
Tebow a call.
because he won in Denver. It's as unconventional and as horrible of a passer he was. They figured out ways to win.
Yeah, I don't care for watching him play at all, but he wins.
He wins.
And he sells jerseys.
The
he gets people
results.
there.
Yeah.
Jacksonville needs that. Tampa, St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis. Yeah.
He took the place of he replaced Kyle Orton. Kyle Orton that took the Chicago Bears to the Super Bowl and they lost. But Kyle Orton was a horrible quarterback.
And now that horrible quarterback is wearing cowboy blue. All right, Paul. I'm picking Tennessee, by the way, just to make that clear.
Tennessee.
Until Bradford comes back, if he comes back this season, I will not pick St. Louis the rest of the year.
He's out.
There is no way.
Well, and there's one other statistic you have to throw in there. No team has won a game after playing the Seattle Seahawks.
That's true, yeah.
So listen.
It won't happen this week.
You could just count tomorrow as 2 straight losses for the Rams.
That's right. All right, Paul?
Yeah, isn't it?
That's a great stat.
Yeah, you're picking Tennessee?
Yeah.
All right, Trojo?
Oh, Tennessee.
All right, just checking.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Adrian.
This is another game that there's not a lot of really good competitive matchups this week.
Before you ask that question, if the Rams wind up winning that game and Dez picked them, dude, we need to do something for that girl.
I'll do something.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I'll do something.
I know.
All right, here we go.
I want you to twerk live on camera on Paul and Trojo and Adrian.
Twerk on them?
Yes, on
I do
them.
that off camera all the time.
Yeah, but I want you to do it on camera.
Wait, here we go.
Wait.
If the Rams win.
Wait.
Time
You
out.
want who to twerk?
She wants me to twerk.
Oh, Kevin. Oh, that's
well, hold
cool.
on then.
I'm down with that.
That's fine. On you. She wants me to give you a lap dance. Well, that's
all
fine.
three of us a lap dance.
So if we're right, what are you going to do?
I think.
That
hold
means
on.
you get twerked on in here,
I think
right?
you let Kevin twerk on you if he beats you.
No, she has to twerk on me.
It can be a one-way street
and
here.
she has to get into it.
I'm
She
sorry,
got to
but you
twerk
can't.
me.
It doesn't work. You can't just make. You can't.
I will attempt. I will go
Make
24 hours a day trying to get Mandy Moore on here if you do that.
No.
Okay, then no.
No, you have to twerk me.
Dude, better
on me.
work on getting Mandy Moore. What the fuck is wrong with
Then
you?
I want 30 days of you trying to get Mandy Moore, not 24 hours.
That's what I meant. 24
She said
hours
24
a day.
hours a
30
day.
days. Oh,
Okay, for 30 days, I will try to get Mandy Moore.
it's a bet right there.
There's the bet right there, bro.
I will. And we
30
will say.
straight days.
Paul will say, and now we have Mandy Moore on the air, and I'll say, Mandy, your first question: will you marry me? Adrian, New Orleans travels to New York.
Then you'll hear
to take on
Exactly.
to take on the Jets. Adrian,
Saints.
Yeah, this is another one of those. It seems
the
like a
Aints
no-brainer.
versus the Ets.
New Orleans is coming off a bye, by the way, and the Jets is like another bye. Paul,
the Saints.
Trojo,
Saints.
Desi.
The Jets. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going for the Saints.
I'm going to edit it down where she says the Jets. All right, New Orleans.
No,
All right.
it is the Saints.
All right, now I'm going to pick first on this one. The Chargers travel to Washington to take on the Redskins. This is a interesting game just because both of these teams have had ups and downs this year. The Redskins looked really good in the first half against Denver today,
and then Denver became Denver,
and then Denver became Denver. I'm gonna pick Washington. I just believe that they're going to start turning this around a little bit. San Diego's not a great team anyway. I think it's a good opportunity for them to get a win at home. Paul?
We'll go with Denver.
No, it's the Chargers at the Redskins.
Oh, I'm sorry.
God damn it, man.
You were just talking about Denver, I thought.
The Redskins played Denver today and hung with them for the first half.
I missed that. I'm sorry. I was looking at some stuff on the screen. Washington or San Diego at Washington?
Yes.
I'm going to go with Washington.
All right, Tro?
Yeah, just off principle alone, I got to go with the Chargers.
Yeah. All right, Dez?
What the hell is this music?
I went
you
the home
think,
team
man?
from where I'm from, Washington.
I'll go with the Chargers.
Uh-huh. Adrian?
Washington.
Just want to follow the black man, don't you?
No, it's because they're 2-2 away, so.
Okay. We're going to leave that alone. Falcons travel to Carolina to take on the Panthers. At the beginning of the year, I kind of thought the Falcons might have been the class act in the South, the NFC South.
Not happening.
That was only thought of before week 1.
Yeah, and then they proceeded to fall apart. They're only 2-5. Panthers are 4-3.
They got
and
their
looking
asses
pretty good.
kicked by Arizona.
Yeah, Paul?
Wait a second. Hold on. Arizona won today. Arizona may have been the first team to win a game after playing Seattle.
Ooh.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Arizona,
How about that?
Well, there you go.
It was a good stat.
Yeah.
It was a good stat.
It was.
It was a good stat, yeah.
Anyway.
It's Arizona. They don't believe in daylight savings time, therefore we're not counting them.
There you go. So it's
Go ahead,
Atlanta
Paul.
versus who?
Atlanta at Carolina.
Could be actually a really good game. Carolina's been playing very well. I'm going to go with Carolina, although I think it's going to be Carolina because Atlanta apparently doesn't have anybody to throw to.
Trojo?
You got to think that Gonzalez is over there. Dude, I came out of retirement for this.
Actually, he apparently is on the trading block as well. But
I mean, I came out of retirement to try to win a Super Bowl here. So come on now.
Who are you picking? Come on, you gotta say it.
What did I say last week?
It doesn't matter.
Quarterback, yeah.
Go with the black quarterback.
Des?
Carolina.
Adrian?
Atlanta.
Yeah, I agree with Adrian. Atlanta is. Carolina's not a world beater, and
they got a great front seven.
Yeah,
Atlanta's
Atlanta's going to win some games here and there somewhere. All right, Trojo.
Somebody basing.
Philly at Oakland. The Raiders.
Oh, man.
Whooped the shit out of Pittsburgh today, man. That was nice to watch.
I got to go with Oakland on that. Oakland, the Raiders.
You got Oakland?
I got Oakland. That damn quarterback. Pryor's starting to show some serious potential.
Yeah, as a running back.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't
Tim
say
Tebow-esque.
I didn't say what he was starting to show potential of.
Desi?
He's the best running back they have on the team right now.
Desi, Philadelphia at Oakland.
I'm going to need your guys' picks before, too.
What?
The computer spazzed on me, so I didn't get your
I'll
guys'
send them to you in an email.
Okay.
Philadelphia at Oakland, Des.
I don't know.
This isn't learning how to put in your tampon. Just make a pick. Come on.
There's so much I would say right now.
Go ahead. Take a pick.
What the hell? Eagles.
You're going with Philly?
Really?
All right. Adrian?
Philly.
Philly. All right. So the game is in Oakland. They don't know if Vic's going to play. They don't know if Folk is going to play.
So what about
they
Matt
think
Barkley?
Matt Barkley's going to play.
What about Matt Barkley make you want to pick Philly?
I mean, the only thing that would be more karmic for Philly is if Matt Barkley suddenly stepped on a 2x4 like in a cartoon and it came up and clocked him in the forehead and they had to sign Tim Tebow off for the practice squad. I'll go with Oakland. Paul? Hold on. This is probably the shit stain game of the week, to be honest with you. The more I think
it'll be
about
Oakland. Black side up.
There you go.
There you go. Nice. All right, next game.
See?
Buccaneers.
Black, green.
This should be the best. Can't even say it. Tampa Bay travels to Seattle to take on your Seattle Seahawks. I know, Des, you're picking first, by the way. I know that the football gods are like... Des, who you picking?
Seahawks.
Yeah, please somebody pick Tampa so we can double down. Adrian?
Tampa Bay. Tampa
You're
Bay.
picking Seattle?
Yeah, definitely.
Damn it. All right, I'm going with Seattle as well.
You were like pointing, like, hey, the stupid white guy to my left, he'll pick Tampa.
He only got 8 wins last week. Maybe he'll pick Tampa. Paul?
Really? You're going to ask?
I have to ask. You have to say it.
You don't have to ask. You're choosing to ask. Listen, I'm sorry. Seattle's at home. I will never pick against them at home. They could be playing the Madden All-Stars, and they would not lose at home.
Okay. Trojo?
Yeah. And in a related story, Russell Wilson has already thrown a touchdown against Tampa Bay, and they haven't even played yet.
That's right. That's right. All right. So everybody picks Seattle. All right. Adrian, Baltimore traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Baltimore is under 500. They're 3-4. The Browns are 3-5. I don't know how to understand records this year. Adrian?
Baltimore.
Fair enough.
They gotta give Ray Rice the ball, though.
Yeah, feed him the rock. I got Baltimore as well just because Cleveland sucks. Paul?
Baltimore, because Cleveland sucks.
But they're going to change the name of the theme song for the Drew Carey show. Cleveland sucks. Cleveland sucks. All right, Georgia?
Who's the quarterback for Cleveland again right now?
Flacco. No, for Cleveland, we think it's Whedon.
Oh, no, it's Drew Carey.
Whedon or Campbell or somebody. I don't know who it is.
Carey, man. You took a break from The Price is Right to go out to Cleveland.
That's right. Couldn't do any worse.
I would be and they're playing in Cleveland.
They're playing in Cleveland. The mistake by the lake.
Yeah, I would be half tempted to pick Cleveland in this if I thought they wouldn't blow it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Baltimore.
All right, fair enough.
Well,
and
something's
Des?
getting blown in Cleveland, but it's $200 an hour.
Baltimore Ravens? Yeah, she likes the Ravens. All right, Adrian, you pick first on that one. I'll pick first on this one. The Pittsburgh Steelers travel to New England to take on the Patriots. This is easy. Tom Brady will ass rape Ben Raplesberger.
Tom Brady threw for less than 150 yards today.
Doesn't matter.
He has no receivers to throw to. Who's the home team?
They're playing in New England.
No, it's New England.
I was about to say
Trojo. Quickly.
I'm like, dude, they're winning, but they're winning. They're winning ugly, but they're winning.
Yeah.
New England.
Quickly, you pick. New England.
New England.
Desi.
New England.
And Adrian.
New England.
All right, your next game is the late game on Sunday night. The India Hoovia Colts.
The what?
I'm just being funny.
India Hoovia.
India Hoovia travels to Houston to take on the Texans.
Another easy game to pick.
Yeah, Paul, you're going to pick first.
Huh?
Colts at the Texans.
You know what? 6 weeks ago, this would have been a tough pick.
Today.
Go with the Colts.
Yeah, I don't even know if we know for sure who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Texans right now. It could be T.J. Yates. It could be Schaub. It could
this
be
is the serious freaking intellectual music
Excuse
right
me,
here.
that would be the Colts.
Trojo?
I mean Colts. Just Colts.
Colts, all right. Desi?
Colts.
Adrian?
The Colts.
Yeah, I'm going with the Colts as well. It's going to be ugly, man.
Yeah.
All right, and your Monday night game. This one is going to be good. The Green Bay Packers playing at home will host the Chicago Bears. And I lied, it's not going to be good. Jay Cutler's out, he's injured. I don't even know what fucking sham of a backup quarterback they have in Chicago.
No clue.
Troja, you're picking first.
Yeah. Well, not Chicago would be my answer.
Okay, Desi?
Packers.
Exactly.
Yeah, Adrian?
Green Bay.
Yeah, I got Green Bay as well. I can't imagine it's even going to be close. Paul?
I have to make up 4 games on you. How am I going to do it when every week the games are so
It's
damn
only week
easy
9. It's only week 8. You got plenty of time, man.
I know, and in the playoffs,
Sorry,
games
week
count
9,
for
I mean.
twice.
I got to make up 11 games.
All right, well, that's because you suck. You keep picking Dallas. I'm going to go with Green Bay. I'm sorry. He's got.
All right, hold on. I got to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Do I
6,
look like Maggie Simpson to you?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Making sure I have every game here. Well, hold on.
Oh, God.
You have every game.
All right, here's your double down games for the week. Then everybody pay attention. Des, you'll be picking first.
Okay.
Here's our double down games. Cincinnati at Miami. Kansas City at Buffalo. Everybody picks Dallas. Everybody picked Tennessee at St. Louis because Des is an idiot.
Yes.
You just gave San Diego at Washington, Atlanta at Carolina, Philadelphia at Oakland, and that's it. Des, pick your double down.
Carolina.
Okay. Adrian.
Tennessee.
My double down will be. My double down is going to be Cincinnati. Paul?
I'm going to take Washington.
And Trojo?
Yeah. Tennessee playing the Rams, right?
Yeah.
Tennessee. Thank you, Dez. Thank you. I needed to make up some points.
All right, so that concludes our picks.
Thank God.
We are good to go with that, so we'll see how everybody does.
Hey, we're only 3 minutes late.
Well, it's perfect.
Time to separate.
We'll go to the top of the hour break. We will take the news. We'll do that. We'll come back into the 4th hour. Notice the last call. Adrian, you going to sit in with us for a while?
Yeah.
You like the last call, don't you?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's kind of fun, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially
so we'll keep Adrian in. Desi will be continuing to monitor the message boards and our Facebook and our Twitter. And then later I'm going to Twitter or Facebook, and it'll be awesome.
Dude, no.
It's so wrong.
Christ.
So we'll take leave Christ out of this. God. All right. We'll take.
Lawsuit waiting to happen.
What's that?
Lawsuit waiting to happen.
I've been an HR issue at work waiting to happen. All right, stick around. More of the show. The last call is around the corner next. You can give us a call 253-617-1440 or give us a comment on the message boards. We're going to talk about what's wrong with men. And I have a very interesting.
You're going to talk about
interesting
what's wrong
email
with men.
from
I'm not
a friend.
what's wrong with men.
After the break.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Jim Hawk. European lawmakers